Hi, it's me. I'm with Channel Awesome. I'm on the Louis Rossmann show. This gentleman's show. I'm on the Louis Rossmann show. I'm his new correspondent because Louis is operating camera and doing narration.
This man needs his own TV show.
Oh no, I was being facetious. I'm actually leading opposition on a bill. This is Louis's channel. I'm just holding the microphone.
Oh, I figure they're maybe putting off discussing the 3D printer bill because they think that people will just go home.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I agree. I think there was a delay tactic. I also know that there's a lot of other bills going on. I know the author has other things that need to be attended. I know there's a caucus later that needs to be addressed. But seeing the amount of people here would definitely spook me a bit, and I would think of what strategy I have. I mean, make no mistake, we do think the bill will pass here because of partisan lines, but there is definitely going to be the start of our movement here. And that was the whole point of this and last week, is to start this initiative to get this rolling, because there is an immense amount of support behind this opposition. And the really interesting thing about this opposition, I was talking with some other people here, is that if you notice there's a group that is not a part of the people that are for this bill. There's no teachers associations, there's no education associations. There are groups on campuses of colleges that support Moms Demand Action, but there are no institutions. There's some institutions that are not formally on yet, but I've been talking to people at a lot of universities that want to get on board, and you're going to start seeing letters of opposition coming out from some very smart people that know this. But it's also so simple, because it comes down to this, my favorite example. I love it, and I take it with me everywhere I go. If I can pull it out of my pocket, hold on one second. The eyeball. The eyeball. The eyeball. Is this actually focused? How do you want me to hold it?
Sure, I'm going to switch to manual focus because I don't have anything for print. I don't have a setting for focusing on a 3D printed eyeball.
Yeah, so this eyeball here, as he's focusing it, is completely 3D printed. This is from the Mayo Clinic, even has their logo and name on the back of it. But under this bill, this would be considered a gun part, because guess what? Look at that little area in the back, little hole there. It's threaded and other elements on it. But who knows the geometry inside this? This is done in resin. This is done on a Mamaki 3D printer, and it's been polished. We actually, I think, use this eyeball for the Umbrella Academy. It's kind of weird. It's fun to take around. What we have here is an object, just like any object around you. The phone you're watching this on, the chair you're sitting on, they're all objects. And those objects don't do anything. They sit, we use them for whatever they may be. They don't have intent. We have intent. Humans have intent. Things could be made for stuff, and we talk about that. And someone asked me, well, isn't that the two-way argument? Isn't a 3D printer just like a gun? And I said, not at all. But I was just talking to the NRA about this too. A gun's function is to shoot a projectile forward, but you could also use it to hammer in a nail. I mean, I know I do when I've been camping. I've definitely used the butt of my for things I shouldn't use, and as a shovel to dig stuff. But its intent was to do whatever I made it to do. Its design and use case is something else, but a 3D printer is to design parts. What those parts do is completely different. And one of the examples that's come up is that they're trying to flag bad parts. They're trying to say that parts are bad. There's certain parts that are just for guns, and there's certain parts that are just for other things. But that's not how 3D printing works, not how life works, because the trigger on my garden hose is a trigger on my Nerf blaster, is a trigger on my Han Solo blaster. So which trigger's the bad trigger, and how do we stop that? And it might sound pedantic, what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to come off like that. What I'm trying to illustrate is that these conversations are much bigger, and it affects other things. And this is just one aspect of how we're relating to 3D printing. The other part of this is the surveillance side of this, and the First Amendment that are getting broken. I mean, we're talking about prior restraint, compelled speech, all sorts of issues here. Here's an example. For those of you who don't know, compelled speech. Language is code. In 1992, I think it was Bernstein versus the state. You can look that up. That code was declared language. So that is your right to express yourself. That is under freedom of speech and everything else that goes with it. So we're dealing with a lot of different factors, and for anyone at home thinks this is a 3D printing bill, this is not a 3D printing bill. This is not a gun bill. This is a tech bill. This is a surveillance bill. This is a bill asking us to give up our freedoms for something that addresses 1% of 1% of 1% of a problem. Some stats for you at home. There have been 0 deaths from a 3D printed gun reported by the ATF, DOJ, or anyone. 0. Because a 3D printed gun is completely 3D printed, and there have been no deaths from that. A ghost gun is different. And you're going to hear both of them thrown around like they're the same thing, but they're not. A ghost gun is a gun with no serial number. That's why it's called a ghost, because you can't trace it. Like if you're watching a movie and you see someone filing the gun, they're trying to get the serial number off the gun. That's where that comes from. And you could modify kits to make your own ghost gun. You can take that lower and do different things with it. But there's a lot of components you're going to need inside a gun if you're going to use it, because you need a spring, you need firing pins, you know, other elements of this. You have to get rifling down. You have to do so many elements to make something functional that's safe for a user. And 3D printing may offer that at industrial scale, but I'm not putting a piece of plastic with explosives in my hand because I like my fingers. And I know that's also putting it on me, but in general, we shouldn't even be addressing this. All day, I'm excited to be a part of this just because it's great to meet everyone, you know, and see everyone here.
Showed up.
And like, you know, yeah, I mean, like down the hall. I mean, this is just a fraction of everyone that's here supporting this. I mean, there's over 100 people here.
Oh, easily.
Easily hundreds. Yeah, I told everyone to go get lunch because we're not going to be back till 1:30 and all of that. But that's what makes me happy. Oh, yeah, go for it, man. We're just rolling. It's live. Say hi. Shout out your favorite sports team. There you go. Go Cubs. But that's really it. I mean, the thing that makes me excited is when the hearing starts, they're going to be the Me Too's, and you're going to see all these women and a couple of men go up wearing red shirts, and it's going to say Moms Demand Action. Look into them. Please look into them. And it's going to be a certain type of person you're going to see through the whole thing. But then when I look down this hall, it's everybody. It's diverse. It's totally inclusive. It's everyone across the board. Everyone this affects. It's not just, oh, we're trying to take this, you know, action and push it through. It's everyone. This clearly affects the whole planet. I mean, when you hear the list of companies that are supporting this around the world and all of the scientists and engineers and just people in general that get it, I mean, people outside of engineering and 3D printing are supporting this because of the pure absurdity of the bill. And, you know, the really neat thing is I run the show. So some of you have asked too, who am I? Who is this guy? I run the show 3D Printing Nerd. I'm the executive producer of it. That's me and Joel Telling. It's on YouTube. It's a show about 3D printing. I've been traveling the world for the last almost 7 years working with everyone in the field with that and all the experts and all the companies on that. I also run a nonprofit called the Community Manufacturing Initiative that's a part of Experiential. Experiential is a consortium of a bunch of organizations that are working really hard to get engineering education into the world. We're partnered with Cornell, MIT, DARPA, NSF, Smithsonian, DECA, Raspberry Pi, DigiKey, it goes on and on and on. And things like 3D Printing Nerd is a part of that too. And that's what this all represents. What you're seeing here is you're seeing a politician being a politician. Their job is to pass bills. Those are good optics. And when the bill says gun control, that's really good optics. And that's what they're trying to propose here. Because if you dive into this, it's not a firearm bill. And that's what we're trying to get them to reframe this as. Joel, the host of 3D Printing Nerd, brought up a great point when we were on a call last night. He said, if this bill was named anything else, would it be killed already? Would this bill be gone if it was named anything else? And that's a great question that I would love to know. And I think that's something we need to keep doing because this isn't just in California. California is the biggest, you know, because what happens here is massive. And, you know, if you don't like California, whatever. It's the 4th largest economy in the world. What happens here matters. And people pay attention. And Everytown is the group behind this. That's the one funded by Michael Bloomberg, your best friend out there in the world. We know you guys love him so much. You're going to be at his barbecue this summer for 4th of July. I'm sure it'll be lovely. They've been around doing this in other areas, and their job is to pass bills and get things out there. They did it in Washington, Colorado, New York, here in California, and they just launched it in Delaware. You know who's in Delaware? Printed Solid. That's Prusa. That's one of the biggest 3D printing companies in the world, manufacturing 3D printers. So not only did they mess with the wrong people by coming at the nerds with some logic, they stepped on an anthill by going into Delaware and messing with Printed Solid. So it's really interesting that they're not really taking the logic on this and looking at this objectively. And then the other thing too is who's the company attached to this? There's a company called FISNA that has found its way into this mix. They were a part of Thangs.com, Thangs3D.com. You can look up Thangs. It was Marlene last week, the CEO of Shapeways and Things, that was here testifying. And everyone in the industry used this matching software that FISNA had when it was a part of Things. And we tried it to do search and find something. And you would use this for, say if you had a part on a car and you needed a replica of it and someone else there had it, you didn't have to make it. You could do a search and do a lookalike part and scan parts to find things that might solve your problems. That's where that came from. But it never worked. It was junk. And then sure enough, last week, they show up on the support of this bill. Like there's a tech company behind this with technology that does not do even the thing they were trying to do well, and then they're trying to do something that's not possible.
So you're saying that the company that would profit from this bill passing by being the company that's contracted to view what everybody's 3D printing is the company that's also testifying in favor of the bill?
Yeah, I don't know if they would be contract. I don't know the deal of it, but I do know that they were part of the Everytown broadcast about New York. I know they showed up here.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, and who knows if they'll show up again here. Maybe we'll have someone else from the company. But, you know, we have a giant tech company is the only one on the planet saying that this is a thing, which is funny because what they're doing is they're doing two things that I think are very interesting. They're saying that their technology can do the thing, can stop ghost guns from being printed, can stop 3D stuff from being printed, that they have the ability to eventually make that happen, which is not a thing. It's just not, because you can change the code inside objects. You can do all sorts of things to modify it. But what they're also saying is that objects have intent. Objects have feelings. That this microphone stand, if I clobbered someone with it, it would go to microphone stand jail. Like, that's not a thing. But that's what this company is also admitting. And they got roasted online. The CEO of the company posted that he thinks this is great. And like the comments are bonkers. So I think that's really interesting too of what's going on here is that there's all these things kind of converging. And the more we hammer at this bill, it changes because we have to use this as precedent as we go forward. And for those of you out there, you're going to hear that the bill has been amended. They removed Section 2 of the bill. It's going to go through this process, talk about amendments. Section 2 is the criminalization aspect of the bill. And by removing that, they're trying to mitigate costs to the state, because that's the whole thing. It's like, is this going to cost anyone money? Is this going to cost the state money? And by removing that, it allows something different to happen. It changes the mechanics of this. It focused just on the civil suits. So there's no protections now from the Constitution on any of this. Before, there was a whole mechanism involving the Department of Justice and other elements of that because it was a crime. Now it's not. So that opens it up to all sorts of craziness in this space. And also, to me, it also goes to show that if this was really about making us safer, they wouldn't be taking things out every go around as well, too. So that's kind of what's going on here. That's what you can expect coming up. It's going to be really interesting. It was awesome. I mean, I put this out. It was Ethan over at the OC Maker Fair sent me Lewis's email. I sent an email. Lewis called me right away and said, how can I help? And we talked for about an hour. And then next thing I know, Lewis is flying up to Sacramento, and we're doing this again here this week. And it's awesome. And that's what community is about. It's about reaching out and saying, hey, I can help them. I can do this. I can help these people over here because it really is something that needs to be done. So what's coming up after this is it will go to appropriations for review, and then it'll go back to assembly because it's been amended, and then for a floor vote. So this is the last public instance. But then the focus is going to be on reaching the consultants in appropriations and just keep hammering on this and stuff. And what's really interesting is by removing the criminal side of it, that makes it look optically like there's upfront costs missing from the bill. But what it does is opens tons of frivolous lawsuits in the civility side of it, which is actually a real big problem because this is all based on firearm blocking software that's not a thing and doesn't exist and can't actually exist. But lawsuits at the civil level would force you to prove a negative. Someone would say, hey, Bob did something bad with his 3D printer. His printer didn't block it. And then Bob has to go prove in court, spend money, do all this other stuff, be tied up with all this and deal with it. Now imagine if you liked what Bob was printing and manufacturing. You could throw lawsuits at him and gum up his works and then take over the project and print it yourself too. There's all sorts of ways to weaponize civil lawsuits. And I think that's a huge issue. And this just kind of keeps perpetuating. But in the meantime, the author gets to say, hey, I passed a gun bill and I made the world safer, when in reality she didn't. So it's really about holding RBK, Rebecca Bauer-Kahan, accountable as well too for this.
What do you think accountability would look like here?
I think accountability would be, I mean, what would I love? I would love a public statement saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This isn't a thing. This is how science works, and this is how math works. I would love to work with all of you and do a better job, and let's move forward together. But I don't think politicians do that.
Anybody who showed up want to talk?
My name is Dr. Amar Abdulati. I'm a hospital physician. I've been practicing since 2018, and I grew up right here in Sacramento. In 2020, I was practicing in Inglewood, New Jersey, which is about 15 minutes from New York. So I was right in the heat of the pandemic. In our 300-bed hospital, we had 1,424 patients at one point, critically ill patients. We ran out of masks, we ran out of gloves, we ran out of everything, and we ran out of ventilators. So back at that time, I designed, and you might have heard of this in the news because people talked about it, I designed and 3D printed a valve that worked to allow us to share ventilators amongst patients when we ran out, and it saved lives. There's no doubt about that. We 3D printed other things. I mean, we were trying to build rooms faster than, as fast as we could. The engineers were just in the room building it, and we would just shove a bed and shove a patient in there before the room was finished. And I remember we needed to have the tubes from the IVs run outside of the room, and the doors would pinch the tubing, which are running life-saving meds. And so we printed some conduits to allow it to fit underneath and around the door without breaking the seal. And so it's all these little things, and I promise you, if you look at those shapes, they look exactly like what a gun would look like. Exactly, 100%. There's no way to tell. And so, if this bill were law, lives would have been lost. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And that's not a hypothetical for me. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
So what brought you out here today?
What brought me out here today?
Yeah, why do you care about this?
What do I care about this?
What is the thing what's the single thing that got you most bothered?
I think it was just seeing how the valve that we printed to save lives would be illegal under this bill. And that, I think that's the biggest thing, is this is not hypothetical for me. There are very real people, and I will never forget the sounds that the ventilators make when people are during COVID. We all have war flashbacks, the gurgling sounds that patients make when they can't breathe, when they have COVID.
Now, there are some people that have said, well, this may get things wrong, but if it saves even one life, it's okay, even if there's all these false positives.
I think that type of argument, while I can always understand that, but that's not the way the world works. The way the world works, it's in shades of gray. And saving one life, everything has to be looked at in terms of harms and benefits. That's what we do in medicine. Imagine if we applied things in medicine to, quote, save one life, but in doing so, we hurt millions of others. So you have to consider the cost as well as the benefit. And the benefit that is proclaimed here about this 3D printing bill, there's a heavy debate, and I think reasonable people can discuss that debate of what benefit it can actually bring. Personally, I believe this would not stop a single 3D printed gun. I don't think anybody determined will ever be withheld by this bill to print a gun or gun parts. Because fundamentally, a printer is just getting G-code, and G-code is just coordinates for where to move. That's not a geometric shape, that's not geometry, that's not a shape. And so, I believe there are technical limitations to even implementing this bill. But the question you asked me is, well, let's say it can save some lives. Let's say it can prevent some guns from being printed. I would say how, but I don't think it will. But let's for now just skip past that point of, let's say you magically have a technology that can prevent one gun from being printed, which most of us here do not believe that that's possible. But it would also block, and I think everyone would agree that it would also block critical components that are used every day. There was another gentleman here that I ran into that suffered from a condition that affected his ability to walk, and he printed prostheses for his crutches and for his wheelchair. And again, these are things that would be blocked. So you have to consider the real world harm. In direct answer to your question of what would you say to those people that say, if it saves one life, it'll be worth it? I would say, okay, then if it hurts one life, then it won't be worth it, right? Yeah. And
if it hurts 2 or 5 or 10 or 20.
This would have killed, and I can tell you the number of patients. I was directly in the data retrieval in COVID during Englewood, New Jersey, and in New York and New Jersey. And again, we had 1,424 patients in a 300-bed hospital. I can tell you for a fact that at least 500 patients would have died were it not for this valve. That's fact, and I mean, I don't know how many more can be said or what more can be said beyond that. I strongly support gun legislation, I do. And I think there are many people here who maybe are on different sides of the aisle on that. But this is not the way to do it.
Well, thank you for taking the time.
The thing is about the thing of what you said, you could, if this existed, you could stop one gun from being made and da-da-da-da. And that's what kills me, is they're projecting this as some epidemic and it's this whole thing of happening, but it's not. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Like someone told me there's an epidemic of 3D printed guns and plastic bullets on airplanes right now. from one of the offices here,
Just to try to say that.
which is not a thing.
Right.
You can't, physics won't allow that. And I'm looking at future-proofing legislation, because if we start going like, oh, this is scary, let's get rid of it, we're going to back-end ourselves into so many more problems. And what's interesting about the gun thing is there's like such a small amount of people make their own firearms in general. And they can do all sorts of stuff. Like I think my friend made one out of like a broom or something once, and whatever, and there's that aspect of it. But it's such a small population of people that do that. And then people that would use 3D printing to do that is even smaller, but they're trying to portray it of things that you see on TV shows and stuff like that. And so as a doctor, do you deal with that as well, of other people like blowing things up and stuff like that?
Constantly. One of the things about data is, one of the things we jokingly say about statistics don't lie. I don't know if everybody knows about this, but that's kind of said in sarcasm.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Statistics lie all the time.
Oh yeah, I
constantly.
have a shirt that says that actually.
Yeah, like they lie constantly, right? For example, did you know that foot size is strongly correlated with intelligence?
Really?
Strongly. Incredibly high positive R value, which is, but do you know what else that doesn't mention?
What?
Is that doesn't adjust for age. Right? And so it's so easy.
So you say as a baby, oh, this one's
doesn't have a high IQ. Look, this baby scored 2 on an IQ test. And their foot size is tiny. And this man has a big IQ.
Yeah.
And right? So
Hey everybody on Lewis's stream. I'm a longtime watcher, Louis Rosman, supporter of the Fulu Foundation, big fan. I'm here as a leader of the Sacramento State Competitive Robotics Team. We compete in RoboSub, and we also do combat robotics here in the Bay Area and Sacramento regions. The reason I'm actually coming to comment against this bill is because it's proposing to solve a problem that doesn't exist with a solution that doesn't exist. The hypothetical problem of this bill that it's trying to tackle is the issue of entirely 3D printed guns, and it's attempting to do that by requiring the DOJ to establish an independent commission in order to require that all 3D printers sold in the state of California have firearm blocking technology. As you've heard a lot of people say before me, this technology does not exist, and if it does, it has severe side effects and false positive rates, as well as many other issues.
Somebody asked if you brought a battle robot into the California Senate.
Yes, I actually did.
Yo,
so
we must zoom on this.
This is part of my sumo robot. It doesn't have the forks on top of it, so this is a flipper bot, if anyone's familiar with those.
So what is a flipper bot?
So essentially, the top of it has a servo on it. I didn't bring it today.
Is that an XT60?
It's a ESP32.
I see an XT60 connector somewhere.
Oh, yeah, the XT60.
I know that anyway.
Yeah, it's a common RC part. The reason I brought this in front of the Senate is actually because there's a provision in the bill that states that the algorithm would be required to reject parts that are seen as avoiding the detection algorithm. And so where that comes in with our club and my prints that I do personally, who is to say if for example, these little brass pieces, these are threaded inserts. It's a very common practice for 3D printing people to actually use brass pieces and essentially melt them into the plastic so that you can use metal screws. It's done very commonly. Under this proposed bill, the algorithm could view those holes in the print as an attempt to evade the detection algorithm. So there's a very real chance that under some implementations of the design algorithm, that just very normal robots that have nothing to do with firearms will actually be rejected, and that's why I oppose this bill.
My name's Sarah, and I'm a resident of Berkeley. I'm actually a constituent of the chair. My husband and I have lived and worked all over California, and I guess the main reason that we strongly oppose this bill is because when I found out about it, I was horrified is maybe not the right word, but I'm trying to think of a good word for it. This is wrong. The fact that they are preying on people's fear and on ignorance and trying to create this I guess, image of what this bill is supposedly supposed to do when it will do nothing of this sort angers me. I'm a mom. We have 2 kids. Both of them are in school. One's in high school. One is in middle school. this bill is not going to make our kids safer. There are other ways to do that, but this bill is not the way. Instead, it opens up the window to a whole lot of other problems.
Yeah, I know last week Marlene asked a question of one of the co-chairs, or it was something along the lines of, do you know what the leading causes are of gun violence in your district? And they said something like, I don't know. And that was very interesting to me. So you're passing a bill that is essentially going to destroy a lot of independent manufacturing while simultaneously admitting that you don't actually know what the problem is that you're looking to solve. That's crazy to me.
That's crazy to me. And they don't. And the fact that they're in here, it's with the, like, think of the children. It's like, okay, we can take us. I know there's not going to be time for me to speak, and that's okay. I didn't come here necessarily like thinking I was going to be able to speak in there. But the fact that they are really trying to appeal to people's fear in that way is frustrating, because there are so many other more important things that we need to address that are the root cause of why we have school violence, why gun violence is a problem at all. I mean, obviously there's a whole umbrella, right? But like one of them is access to mental health care and access to resources, access to health care. There are so many, but this bill, to me, this is not the answer. This is just going to invade everyone's privacy. It's creating a pathway for our private data to go to yet another billionaire, which I'm not okay with. I think I saw that clip, because that was in one of the ones you posted, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a Fourth Amendment violation that's going on here too, which is the idea that you can't have an unreasonable search of people's homes, yet here you're searching what people are doing inside of their homes because you're presuming that they're guilty prior to having any actual evidence that they've done anything that's a crime.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
That's another thing. It's like,
report.
If I had time to speak on that, I would. It's preemptive search and seizure. It is preemptively presuming that somebody might be breaking the law and therefore invading their privacy on that premise. And to me, that is unconstitutional. So even if this does get passed, I imagine that there would be grounds to challenge it on terms of like constitutionality. But hopefully we can prevent it from going through in the first place, because this is nonsense.
Why do you think this bill's a horrible idea? Or do you? I shouldn't start with a loaded question. Do you think it's a bad idea?
I do think it's a bad idea, and for many of the reasons that have been gone over already, I'm very worried about the ramifications to the First and the Fourth Amendment. Obviously there is the issue of this being very technically impractical, if not impossible. And, just thinking about how it sort of undermines the benefits of open source software and a similar open environment that 3D printers have thus far been a part of. I think we would be giving up a lot if this bill were to move forward, and I don't think it would meaningfully solve any problems. So.
Well, thank you for coming out. I appreciate you deciding to do something. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello.
Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Think this bill is a good or a bad idea, and why?
I think this is a terrible idea. My background is manufacturing. I've been in the industry for a decade now. I've never seen anything like this. Complete disregard of technical opinions, just complete disregard of our livelihoods and STEM education, all for the sake of this vaporware bill that does nothing to make anybody safer.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate it. What got you to come out here today?
I've spent 3 years slowly scrounging together enough money to start my own 3D printer manufacturing business. And this drops.
Ouch. The timing. I'm going to take a guess you're starting in California.
Yes, starting in California, directly after COVID tanked me.
Oh, man. Timing.
I moved to LA to do VFX. COVID tanked me.
That sucks.
And oh boy. And now I'm doing this, and then this legislation drops. It's been a heck of a time, but I honestly think one of the biggest issues with this is its effect on the small business community. I have multiple friends who use 3D printing in their small businesses. One of them was escaping Mexican cartels and had no money here and nothing to do, so he started 3D printing dog and cat toys out of TPU with a 3D printer in his guest room. He lived in the guest room that he lived in. And that allowed him to build enough money to actually live like a human being for once, after being chased out of places by cartels. And just in general, small businesses need this in America. In America, it's well known, we don't do manufacturing anymore, we do services. And by and large, if you try to do large manufacturing in the US, it doesn't work due to financial concerns. But 3D printing, time and time again, has proven that anyone can pick a few 3D printers up and start a business that competes with the biggest ones out there. Maybe in your own little backyard, maybe you can grow it, maybe you can't, but you can at least start. And this kind of legislation is exactly what would kill that and hand all of this burgeoning small business activity in California and actual manufacturing in the United States back to China. And a little bit back to Europe and a little bit back to everywhere else. But in the US, we don't really have that much manufacturing, and we need it. Right now, I'm living in LA, and around me you can see all kinds of industrial buildings. I can go down the street and go to a foam warehouse to get anything I want. Protective foam, bedding foam, mattress foam, everything you want. And that's just one of them. There's also electrical supply, car parts. We have the entire manufacturing process to produce almost an entire F-16 stealth jet fighter. And we have tons of empty skyscrapers just sitting there. Los Angeles could become the Shenzhen of the American continent. We just need the right legislation to do it, and this is the legislation that would preemptively end it.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come out. I really appreciate it. Very inspiring.
So I am disabled, and so my primary concern with this bit of legislature is that it'll make it much harder for disabled people to 3D print replacement parts for their accessibility technology, which is like kind of awful when you consider like a motorized wheelchair can sometimes be like $50,000.
Yeah, I've talked to Thomas Queter at a lot of these conventions, and he's a great advocate for how people in wheelchairs and people in general with disabilities get completely fucked and ignored. And just the fact that there are so many items where he can be, it's not even the cost, it's that he can be waiting 3 to 6 months to get it versus 3D printing it. The ability to get back to being able to actually be free and go out on your own and be able to leave your house, like that's something that 3D printing can provide you. And it's not just about being able to make money, it's not just about being able to make random things, it's also about having personal freedom in a world where you're consistently the last of somebody's priorities.
Oh yes, absolutely. Especially when you consider mobility aids especially are more of like an extension of disabled people's like bodies. Like that is really the best way to put on it. And like, could you imagine paying a $50,000 subscription on your legs?
Coming soon.
You're just born with legs, but you have to pay a subscription with them. It's
coming soon.
It's absolutely.
Don't put that out there. Somebody's writing this down right now.
This legislature, especially since it's AI powered, AI is just not in the state where it can do the things that they want it to. I don't know if it ever will, but definitely right now it's not. Like if I wanted to print a more ergonomic grip for my forearm crutches, an AI wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a forearm crutch grip and a gun stock. It just...
They're both cylinders.
It's very
yeah,
similar.
Let me zoom out a little
shape.
bit so we can get that.
Look at that. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean, like a little bit of modification. If Gemini is stupid enough from a company that makes $70 billion a year to think I'm sponsored by Ground News, it's probably stupid enough to think that that's a gun part at some point. And the idea that you would then be stuck in your house again or not being able to get around because some dumbass clanker couldn't tell the difference between a crutch or a gun. That's realistic. Like, that is a cylinder. I mean, what David said last week, like, is this a good or a bad cylinder?
Right. It just won't be able to know. And that's my chief concern there is it'll disproportionately affect disabled people who are kind of already being smothered by the system.
Fucked. And again, anybody on my channel, just watch any of the videos with Thomas Queter in the title. We've done some like interesting 1 hour tours of these disabilities expos, and we visited him at a few different conventions, and he talks about this stuff in great detail, and he's really, really good at explaining. And you'll probably get mad listening to it. I usually get mad when I talk to him, not because I don't like him, but just because the stories he tells are atrocious. Like taking New York State 5 years to figure out that he did not have legs. That's just the type of shit that you'd... Thank you so much for taking the time.
Hello, internet. Okay, you can go ahead and eat your sandwich.
God bless you.
By all means,
All right.
because you've probably been very busy
Breakfast.
today. Let me first start by saying I'm very grateful to Louis for making that video to show up, I believe, about 2 days ago. I knew nothing about this until that video, and about 24 hours ago, so exactly yesterday at this time, I just come back from Costco with my mom. The reason I mentioned this is it was at that point that I watched Louis's video, and I drove all the way down from Diamond Bar, California, a 7-hour drive, to show up here as he requested, because I do believe that while I understand that some personal liberties should be sacrificed for national security, I believe that this is an egregious amount. The point being is that personal liberty should not come at too far a cost in the sake of national security, especially when it comes in the form of a fallible AI that I personally don't trust to make the judgment call on the intention of 3D printed designs. And if I may implore those possibly watching, as you can imagine, I'm not the most well-researched expert on this subject, not in the slightest. I am definitely not of the kind of confidence that speaks to a camera and a mic willingly. But despite that, and despite the fact that I live in Southern California, I made the call to drive all the way up here on nothing but espresso and adrenaline to try and make my voice heard. So in the future, if you feel like there is something you believe should involve your voice, I implore you, if you think you can do it, please contribute as much as you can. Anyway, he is still eating his sandwich, so I will now stall for time. I was debating on not giving my full name when I went to present, but I figured I would probably do so just to show that I actually do give a dang about this specific legislature. Fun little thing, I am in a political science class, Introduction to American Government and Politics, and while it was not my intention, I kind of hope that my professor will give me some extra credit for this. He is still eating his sandwich, and I feel really awkward to return this microphone. And plus, again, give the man some time. That being said, I am running out of words, so I should probably pass this, huh? No, that's okay. How's the sandwich? Sir, you look well dressed. Would you like to? I'm going to drag you in now. Look at him. His hair is quite nice.
Thank you.
And his suit is sharp.
Thank you.
Wow. Where did you get this suit, sir?
I think Macy's.
Macy's. Oh shit. Well, I'm unemployed, so I can't afford me. Sorry.
It's all right.
But what are your thoughts on the legislature?
I think it's a gross overreach. There's so many fronts on why this is wrong. In my opinion, the privacy aspect is one of the worst. I don't think the government should have their grubby little fingers over every little facet of our life, especially in this day and age. We're seeing flock cameras pop up around. They're using geofencing. There's so many things that they're using to track us and monitor what we do, and this is, I'm afraid, another extension of that. It's a Fourth Amendment violation, and even then the mechanism behind this is so unclear. It's vaporware. There's no real way to for you to use AI. AI to figure stuff out. You see the false positives day to day, and it's never turns out good. I think that at best they're misinformed, but at worst I think there's some questionable people behind it and some questionable motives, and I think we're going to go into a slippery slope if this is passed. So we're here standing up for what's right, and Louis is a huge champion of that, so we're really glad. I drove 4 hours to get here. I know you drove 7, so
I had time.
There's hundreds of us here, so we're really looking forward to putting a stop to it. That's about it.
Good speech.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I'm still holding. I don't know where Louis went.
Okay, a volunteer here to save me from my awkward predicament. Please introduce yourself, sir. Nice to meet you.
I'm Jason. Yeah,
Nice to meet you, Jason.
I am a Sacramento local college student, comp sci major. I'm not actually the biggest 3D printing hobbyist, but I saw this law and I was like, wow, this is stupid. And I'm more against it because I believe that
It is stupid. But
because it's setting the precedent that it's okay for the government to want to scan your stuff, or it wants to choose how you use your electronic devices. But like, no, I don't want that. I don't think anybody really wants that. And there's a lot of anti-privacy laws, a lot of anti-open source laws going on around right now. There was recently AB 1043, which was a big scare that was mostly amended. A lot of people, it's not about, oh, we're gonna win this time. We're gonna get the bill killed right here. It's more like, we are not going to lose. We are not ready to lose. And we are going to continue fighting, and we are going to play the long game. And I don't live too far. A lot of people have to drive 8 hours. Some people fly. I don't have to do that. So I thought, well, I'm lucky. I might as well come over here, and I might as well state my opinion, especially for the people who can't. So that's why I'm here. I want to be in it for the long game.
fantastic speech, Jason. That was I love the confidence, actually, the conviction. I could feel it.
And your name, temporary mic manager?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. You know what? I could use a fake name. Because I came up with it. Because I was like, oh, you put my face and my name on the camera. That's like not going to bite me back like anytime soon. But Lewis is back. Nice to meet you. My name is Hedrick Pasigan.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, me. I did what I could.
What got you to come out?
My name is Daniel Watson, and I've been 3D printing for more than a decade now. There isn't currently a pandemic of like 3D printed guns, so this seems like legislation in search of a problem.
Can you name all the people who've been killed by a fully 3D printed firearm?
Yes, I can. Done. As far as I know. I mean, I guess maybe somebody somewhere has been killed that... But anyway, yeah, so the whole like solution in search of a problem, it seems like that phrase should really be used for this bill, not for some of the other bills it's been used for.
You know what bothers me a lot about this is this. I was reading this morning about the Stop Killing Games bill that did not get a vote yesterday because there wasn't a quorum, I think, for a majority. And the ESA was saying it would not be possible for us to do this, right? So they're saying it's not possible for a video game to be able to work after, like, continuously, in spite of the fact that we have 40 plus years evidence that is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Because like before 2015 or so, games just
games
that
used to work just fine.
So, but when the ESA says that you can't make a game work forever, they're like, oh yeah, I guess that's not possible. But when we show up and we say there is literally no way for you to tell the intent of a shape, they're like, no, we probably can. Let's move it on to the next committee. And it's really annoying that exact same argument that gets used by the ESA does not work when we're the ones making it.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
I don't know. And
that argument should work for the ESA and me, or it should work for neither of us. But it can't go both ways.
One way, either both or none. I also feel pretty strongly, I see a lot of stuff with slicers, innovation in slicers, which is a technical part of 3D printing where you take a shape and you turn it into instructions for the 3D printer to do something. And it used to be that you had to print directly on a surface, but then after a while people found that you could do this thing called bridging. But in order to do that, they have to be able to make modifications to slicers and then try it out on a 3D printer to see if it works. If you can't do that, then, which this bill would make that illegal, then you can't have innovations where you can print parts that you used to not be able to print. And then there's other innovations in like the strength of the thing that you build. There was recently a thing where instead of printing lines just right on top of each other, they'll print them a little bit offset, and that made the whole part like 10% stronger. That's another thing, another innovation that would be criminalized, I guess, by this bill. If you try to do something like that, you wouldn't be allowed to. And I think so. Those are some reasons that I'm against this bill. And I think
those are the people.
Yeah, I think this is just not a good bill the way that it's written.
Well, thank you. Who is next? You wanted to talk? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you can come up here
also
too.
somebody else, but I forget. Oh yeah, sure.
Thanks for letting me talk.
Oh, him and you actually.
Also,
Sorry,
thank you personally. Thank you for doing all the things that you do.
Okay, afterward.
All right.
Yeah,
do you want to?
I got to get in and set up too.
Hey everybody, we're ready to get started. Good luck everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Let's make sure this does not fall.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure. Yeah.
All right, coming through. All right, pardon us. Excuse me, doctor. I'm going to put you on the spot. Excuse me, doctor. Excuse me.
Whoops.
Pardon me. Watch your foot.
Hello.
Watch your toes. Coming through. Coming through. Watch your toes, your fingers.
Sorry.
And he's coming back. We're going to need the same audio plug in again. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Here you go. Hi, it's me. I'm with Channel Awesome. I'm on the Louis Rossmann show. This gentleman's show. I'm on the Louis Rossmann show. I'm his new correspondent because Louis is operating camera and doing narration.
This man needs his own TV show.
Oh no, I was being facetious. I'm actually leading opposition on a bill. This is Louis's channel. I'm just holding the microphone.
Okay, well, next up is Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan. I do apologize to the other assembly members that were here before her, but you know, she kind of snuck in.
I think my third visit to the room trying to get in, so.
I understand.
I know.
So, you are here on AB 2047?
That is right. Thank you,
Okay,
Madam
the
Chair.
floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I want to start by thanking committee staff for their work on the bill and confirming that I'll be accepting the amendments from the committee to remove the criminal penalties from the bill. I'm proud to present AB 2047 along with my sponsors, Every Town for Gun Safety. Over many years, California has set the standard in taking an active role to protect our communities against gun violence. And the chair of this committee, Senator Arreguín, has led the way on this, and I want to thank him for his incredible work. AB 2047 builds on prior legislation to address the newest firearm threat, which is 3D printed weapons. Numerous reports from the DOJ and nonprofits have emerged demonstrating the proliferation of these 3D printed firearms. Just since January of this year, there have been several 3D printed gun busts and recoveries in California, including in San Jose, San Bernardino, and Santa Rosa. We cannot stand by while these firearms continue to flow into our communities. AB 2047 creates an upstream solution by requiring that all three-dimensional printers sold in California are equipped with firearm blocking features to prohibit the printing of dangerous gun parts. We will not be the first in the nation to do this. New York has already passed this policy earlier this year, and it was signed into law. At its core, this is about ending gun violence. It's about keeping our children safe in their schools, our families safe when they attend worship service, the mall, or a concert. AB 2047 is supported by a unique coalition of doctors, parents, law enforcement, and students. I'll turn it over to my witness, Crystal Lopolito, Director of Policy Advocacy for Everytown, and Christina Kundari, volunteer with Moms Demand Action.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair.
There you go.
And members of the committee, or acting chair. My name is Crystal Lopolito, and I serve as Policy Advocacy Director at Everytown for Gun Safety. Together with Moms Demand Action and Students Demand Action, we are the largest gun violence prevention organization in the nation. We're proud sponsors of AB 2047 and grateful to Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan for bringing this bill forward. AB 2047 is the common sense next step in California's fight against ghost guns. This committee has been at the forefront of recognizing the existential threat that 3D printed firearms pose to California's gun laws and advancing strong policies to address this next wave of the ghost guns crisis. Last year's SB 704 created one new step to begin thwarting DIY gun makers who can't pass a background check. This committee was also a key stop for 2022's AB 2156 and 2023's AB 1089, which made it a crime to 3D print guns without a firearm manufacturing license. And this committee helped advance last year's AB 1263, which made it illegal to aid, abet, or facilitate another person manufacturing firearms with a 3D printer. What we have before us with AB 2047 is different. It's an opportunity to add a new, truly preventative layer on top of those existing prosecution-focused public safety laws. We can stop gun printing at the source. Technology now exists to block the printing of files that have been specifically identified as firearm design files. Ensuring that technology is equipped on all printers sold to retail consumers in California is a new and preventative way to effectuate our existing laws. To be clear, there is so much positive creativity and innovation happening as 3D printing becomes more accessible and affordable. We can all agree on that. Yeah. This bill won't stifle or threaten it. and it includes a careful 3-year implementation process to be sure the technology is minimally disruptive to legal print jobs. But we need to pass this bill and start that implementation process now to stop the floodgates of 3D printed guns before it gets out of control. Thank you. We ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much.
My name is Christina Kandari, and I'm a volunteer and the local group co-lead for the San Francisco Moms Demand Action group. I teach couture embroidery at an art school, and we have multiple 3D printers on our campus. We encourage our students to use them in their classes and activities. In my classes, students can use 3D printers to create their own sequins, beads, and other components that they use in their fashion design projects. As an educator, I'm constantly amazed at what my students create with their 3D printing, and 3D printers have broadened their horizons and created so many opportunities for them. But with those opportunities comes the terrifying reality that they can use those to print a gun. This is not hypothetical. This is happening all around our state, and in the last year alone, a teenager in San Jose was arrested with 27 3D printed guns, including guns modified to function like a machine gun. Santa Rosa police arrested and charged a teenager for using 3D printers in an illegal firearm making operation. And a teenager in San Diego was arrested for bringing a loaded firearm to school. Afterwards, police discovered multiple 3D printed firearm frames and 3D printed conversion devices in his home. There is so much potential and promise for 3D printing. I see it every day with my own students. But when a fully operable firearm as deadly as a store-bought weapon can be manufactured by a teenager or anyone else who wants to skip a background check, 3D printers present a dangerous reality which is only going to get worse if we don't act. The law can balance respect for innovation alongside the need to keep our communities safe. And this bill does. This law doesn't ban 3D printers. It just requires printers to have a safety feature that stops them from printing illegal guns. As an educator, a parent, and a volunteer with Moms Demand Action, I believe we have a responsibility to put guardrails in place to protect our kids. One child's life ruined from a 3D printed firearm is one too many. For this reason, I urge a vote yes on AB 2047. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Anyone who would like to testify in support, please come forward.
Chloe King with Political Solutions on behalf of the American Academy of Pediatrics in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie Kirk on behalf of Moms Demand Action, and I advocate for in support.
Thank you so much.
Leslie Ruse on Moms Demand Action in support.
Thank you.
Bridget Jakubowicz, public school teacher in Pleasanton, California, and Moms Demand Action volunteer in support.
Thank you very much.
Janie Dobbs, Pleasanton, volunteer with Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, and I fully support AB 2047.
Thank you.
Yara Jadal, volunteer with Moms Demand Action, former nanny and former preschool teacher in support.
Thank you very much.
Charles Allen on behalf of Everytown for Gun Safety, proud sponsors and strong support for 2047. Thank you.
Linda Gale, San Francisco resident, and I am a volunteer with Moms Demand Action, and I fully support AB 2047.
Thank you.
Brenda Nixon, retired educator and Moms Demand Action volunteer in support.
Thank you.
Sarah Berger, Moms Demand Action volunteer and public school parent in support.
Rachel Lado with Moms Demand Action in support.
Mary Duplass, gun violence survivor and volunteer for NorCal Gun Violence Prevention.
Thank you.
Max Perry on behalf of the California Police Chiefs Association in support. Thank you.
Janet Surratt, Moms Demand Action volunteer in support.
Mariah Hodge, Moms Demand Action, volunteer and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Claire Senchina, Moms Demand Action, volunteer and a gun violence survivor. I support.
Cooper Howard, Moms Demand Action, volunteer in support.
Elizabeth Carpenter, Moms Demand Action, volunteer in support.
Good afternoon, Donald Sturkey, Moms Demand Action volunteer, and I support.
Should be moms and dad.
Mitch Steiger with CFT, a union of educators and classified professionals, also in support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair members. Connor Gussman on behalf of Prosecutors Alliance in support.
Jamie Miner on behalf of Giffords, pleased to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in support? Now we're going to move over to opposition. Welcome.
Chair and members, my name is Aubrey Rodriguez. I'm a alleged advocate with ACLU Cal Action. While we are appreciative of the committee amendments, we continue to have strong concerns with AB 2047. To start, this bill poses grave risk to many users of 3D printers and their right to privacy. Just yesterday, the Supreme Court reaffirmed an individual's right to reasonable expectation of privacy in Chattree v. United States. In a concurring opinion, Justice Gorsuch wrote that one's papers or effects was understood at the time of the Fourth Amendment adoption to embrace most of any kind of personal property. This unequivocally includes one's 3D printer, and every owner of a 3D printer holds the right to a reasonable expectation of privacy when printing in their own home. And if the government suspects an individual violating the law by 3D printing ghost guns, they can obtain a search warrant, rather than mandating a dystopian scanning tool that constantly monitors what people do in the privacy of their own homes. This newly required algorithm contains troubling similarities to efforts by governments and corporations to either break end-to-end encryption or include constant scanning technology on people's electronic devices. At the ACLU, we warned of the dangers that this technology brings and how it may be exploited to conduct far-reaching surveillance. Mandating an algorithm that scans for possible printing of a ghost gun poses similar risk. And the question is, where will this constant surveillance, monitoring our every move end? Once this scanning algorithm is in place, it could be abused by governments or corporations to prevent socially or politically sensitive 3D printed designs, infringing on our civil liberties. This type of software creates a permanent backdoor into the privacy of our own homes, ripe for exploitation. And once this new infrastructure exists, it is a simple software update away from tracking political dissents or preventing 3D printed designs deemed inappropriate. We remain skeptical of any software that contains a client-side scanning system that is purportedly only designed to capture specific files, as this software invades the privacy of users with 3D printers who will, by necessity, have everything they print scanned and improved by an opaque algorithm. For these reasons, we respectfully urge a strong no vote on this bill.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm David Tobin. There we go. Good morning, committee. I'm David Tobin. I'm the executive producer of the show 3D Printing Nerd. I'm also the executive director of the Community Manufacturing Initiative. And I want to say hello to everyone watching on the live stream, and thank you, Louis, for coming. We broadcast this to all the educators throughout the state to make sure they were all aware of what was going on, all the small businesses and all the big businesses that use this. All our friends over there are wonderful, and JPL, SpaceX, everyone down in Livermore, and all the other small businesses across, to make sure they all saw what was going on here today. And because of last week, everyone has one collective question for the committee. Is the only reason this bill is going forward is because firearm is in the title? Because this is a tech bill. There's nothing about firearm protection in here in any capacity. There's one company on the planet that supports this technology, and it's called FISNA. They brought their salesman here last week to talk to you about it. We've all used their technology. It does not work and do what they're saying it does. We've used this in this space. And it comes down to the core thing. There's a pen on your desks. That's an object. That does not have intent. No object has intent. We instill intent. That could be a pen. It could be a tracheotomy tool. It's a tube. And the other thing is, last week, the author of the bill said that if this technology was possible, it would not be foolproof. Also, she said that the ghost gun making is illegal already. It's already a crime to do this. So this isn't really adding anything new to it. And then bringing up New York, it has not gone into effect in New York. New York has an amendment in their bill that says if this technology is proven not to be possible, which it's not, they don't have to go further down the line on it. We don't even have that amendment in here to get out of it in any capacity. So that's where I want to leave it at, and I really do appreciate your time, and I wholeheartedly vote no on this.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to testify in opposition or give testimony?
Yes, my name is Steve Peterson. I'm a member of the Voron design team representing the wider open source hobbyist 3D printer community. And I also want to add on record the following additive manufacturing professionals, educators, stakeholders, Prusa Research, Printed Solid, PO Poly, Make Magazine, Maker Faire, West 3D, Nico Industries, 3D Printing Nerd, Coco Press, Micro Swiss, Greengate 3D, LDO Motors, Protoplant, makers of Protopasta, Make Good, 3D Fuel, Soraya Tech, Monster City Studios, Sliceworks, Things 3D, Zellerfeld, Fulu Foundation, Repair Preservation Group Action Fund, OC Create, OC Maker Foundation, Matter Hackers, Polymaker, BQ Big Tree Tech, Dr. Adrian Breuer, Joseph Prusa, Dale Doherty, Maxim Zolan, Joel Telling, Clayton Parker, Bill Duran, Grant Posner. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Aiden Sanabria, disability advocate. I think there's a real possibility for this bill to have disastrous consequences for disabled people to have access to spare parts to repair their assisted technologies.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Armour. I am the lead chassis development engineer for the Hornet Racing team at Sacramento State University, where we develop a new internal combustion engine open wheel race car every year. 3D printing technology is crucial to my work.
I'm sorry, this is the time. I apologize. I should have said it at the beginning, but this is the time only for your name and then your affiliation and whether you're in support or opposed to the bill.
I strongly oppose this bill.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
My name is Joe. I'm with SGT Consulting and Golden Hams Radio Club. In principle of national security, I oppose.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sergi Small, born and raised Sacramento. A DIYer, and I am here on behalf of my family and friends who cannot attend. I am opposed to this.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Daniel Al-Nasser. I research the 3D printing of organs for medicine, and I deeply oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alon Horticolon-Retzler. I've been working a decade in rapid prototyping and commercial research. I strongly oppose this bill as written. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Victor Piedra. I'm just a parent and resident of Daly City, and I strongly oppose this bill for a variety of reasons I already explicitly explained. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christopher Keaton. I'm a Lenovo sales training and relationship specialist, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sen Lawrence Hastings. I'm a free software and open source hardware advocate, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Joel Sanchez, Sacramento County resident and hobbyist 3D printer. I oppose this bill.
I am Rujal Bhardwaj. I'm a resident of San Francisco, and I vehemently oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paul Rothstein. I'm here again after last week, and I strongly oppose this bill on Fourth Amendment grounds at the very least.
Hello, my name is Tyler Woodward from the... All the reasons already laid out, I also very strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Riley O'Connor. I'm an engineer and hobbyist from Limmerware. I am opposed to this bill.
Hi, my name is Arush Rana, and as an engineering student, I deeply oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, Michael Hebert, engineer and Sacramento County resident, and I oppose this.
My name is Justin Pitta, Sac County resident and local maker, and I definitely oppose this bill.
Thank you very much.
My name is Aiden Simmons. As a hobbyist, I deeply oppose the bill on right to repair and privacy grounds. Thank you.
My name is Alex Orzella. I'm an open source advocate. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Alex Ont. I'm an open source developer, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Joseph Yule, Sacramento resident, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name's Christopher Heiser. I'm an engineer, parent, and resident of San Carlos, California, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Anthony Garcia, I work in prop production. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Sean Sokoljian. I own Warmbird Technologies, an industrial 3D printer manufacturing company. My company is exempt from this bill given the industries we sell to. We oppose this bill regardless.
Thank you.
Hello, Aaron Thurner, engineering student at Consumers River College, and I oppose this bill.
Hi, Gabriel Chang, Sacramento citizen. On the grounds of the Fourth Amendment, I strongly oppose this bill.
Hello, my name is John Pannell. I'm a member of the Born Design Group and generally open source community, as well as an engineer and educator. I strongly oppose this bill.
Hello, my name is Nathan Groves. I am an industrial design student at San Francisco State University and former Air Force. Strongly oppose this bill for the sake of my future.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Navarez, private citizen, Sacramento resident, and I strongly oppose this manufacturing control bill on Fourth Amendment grounds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Nathaniel De Los Santos. I represent myself as a 3D printing hobbyist and author of open source software, not my employer. I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Louis Rossman from Rossman Repair Group, Hulu Foundation Repair Preservation Group, and I strongly oppose this bill and the billionaire who's been funding it.
Hello, my name is Christopher Kramer. I'm an instructor at Makerspace, and I'm a student at Sacramento State, part of Aerospace Club, Competitive Robotics Club, and Baja SA Club. I'm a student member of Society of Manufacturing Engineers, American Society of Manufacturing Engineers, and American Society of Mechanical Engineers, and I strongly support you saying no to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Benton Phillips. I'm a hobbyist. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisbon Gutierrez, registering opposition on behalf of the Electronic Frontier Foundation and Oakland Privacy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is John Hanna, and I'm a Sacramento native, and for 30 years I've worked professionally as an editor. And so I carefully read this bill, and I carefully read all of the supporting materials that came along with this bill, and I'm hoping that y'all also read it carefully. And what I found is that there are statements of fact.
If you could just state your name and your affiliations and whether you support or oppose the bill.
I'm opposed to the bill due to the fact that it has not been written with care towards fact in reporting.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Evan Buttimer. I'm a professional musician. I play with the Sacramento Philharmonic and the Stockton Symphony, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rolando Javier. I am a computer engineer in the enterprise software industry, and in support of protecting privacy and consumer rights, I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Stuart Hastings, Reading, retired computer engineer. I'm opposed.
Hello, my name is Kyle McKenna. I'm a advanced manufacturing and mechatronics student at Sierra College. I oppose.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Labate. I'm here with my daughter. I'm a current software engineer and a former child care provider. We're very busy, but not so busy that we can't come here and state our disapproval of this bill. Please do not support it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing your daughter.
My name is James Huang. I'm a mechanical engineer, a user of 3D printers both professionally and personally, and a Democrat. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Jen Thomas, on behalf of law-abiding citizens who value their privacy, I oppose.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Warren, and I'm a resident of Sacramento, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Yassine Johnson. I came out here all the way from Patterson, California, and I came here to oppose Bill 2047 as I believe it is an invasion of privacy and could be very problematic for businesses who utilize 3D printers.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Finnegan Andrews. I am an IT technician in K-12 public schools in Washington State, and I am here today to oppose AB 2047 for the ways in which it will weaken First and Fourth Amendment protections.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Joseph. I'm an IT specialist, and on behalf of the Second and Fourth Amendment, I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Kevin Guzman. I'm from Vallejo, California, and on behalf of the Fourth Amendment and right to repair, I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Howdy, y'all. I am Jeffrey Gicosio, and I am a software developer, and I oppose this bill for the Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment and for a right to repair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Micah Hoosier. I'm from Riverside, California, and I strongly oppose AB 2047.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kobe Clark. I'm a Vacaville resident, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason North, Sacramento local college student, computer science major. I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Nicholas Tank. I'm an electronics technician and a law-abiding 3D printer user, and I oppose this bill.
Fletcher Dubé, 16th District constituent, strongly oppose.
My name is Hanson Dubé. I'm an analytical chemist residing in Walnut Creek, California, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
I'm Nicholas Dorn. I'm creating a 3D printer assembly company, and I strongly oppose this bill for reasons of destruction of my company in advance.
Thank you.
Matthew Conley, former Army Ranger, current computer engineer and entrepreneur, oppose.
My name is Nathaniel Lewis. I'm a system software engineer residing in San Francisco, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Brandon Langdon, and I, as a 12-year professional and expert in additive manufacturing at a national lab, a 7th-generation Livermore constituent and voter for Assembly Member Bauer-Kahan, oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Justin Lisinski. I'm a product design consultant and inventor in Palo Alto, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Sarah West. I am a resident of Berkeley and a constituent of the chair. I am here with my son, Kalen. And we are small, my husband and I are small business owners. We strongly oppose this bill. It will not make our children safer. It's a waste of resources with no hope of success. It will just create new problems.
My name is Kaylin West. I'm a resident of Berkeley, and I strongly oppose this bill because I think it will create more problems than it has a chance to solve.
Thank you so much.
Ann Pauley, Oakland-based manufacturing engineer and board member at an education nonprofit working with Oakland Unified School District to teach 3D printing to underserved youth. If you care about education, you will join me in strongly opposing this bill.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, come on. When I started 3D printing, machines cost $200,000. Now machines are built for $200. Now kids are building machines for $200 from kits, which allow them to build the skills they need to repair them, use them, and design for them.
Use this. Don't make me use this, please.
Oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm a retired grandma, and I'm here to support my son and my 3 sons, and they're all in this technology, and I would like very much to oppose this bill. My name is Mary Pasco. I'm from Rockland, California. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Jay Sugaldi. I vehemently oppose this bill and the technocrat, parasites, and financiers who think that they can shape a panopticon tech dystopia for all of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My name is Milo McConlog. When I was 9 years old, I built my first 3D printer, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you so much.
My name is Andrew Concilio. I 3D print fidget toys for my autistic wife, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Glenn Gio. I am trying to start a company that relies on 3D printing and will be unable to do so if this bill passes. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you very much.
My name is Aisha Burns. I'm a medical physicist, and I use 3D printing to treat cancer, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Hunter Ligeti, and I'm an aspiring manufacturer, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Tom Durso. I oppose this bill. My business is going to be related to 3D printing.
in the development of it.
Thank you so much.
My name is Christopher Martinez. I'm a material physicist, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Adrian McCarthy. I'm a software engineer from Hayward, California, and a member of the Northern California Haunters Group, and we strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Watson. I'm from Fremont, California, and I do computer science tutoring and teach people using 3D printers a lot, and I urge you to vote against this bill. Thank you.
My name is Luke Bishai, representing WPM Software Design, a keyboard design company in Southern California, and I urge you to vote no against this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Jacob Bertrand, resident of Davis, an uncle, an electrical engineering student, and a former member of a national-level Davis-based robotics team which relies on free and open-source 3D printing software, and I respectfully oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Beck Fortier. I'm a mechanical engineering student at UC Davis, and I regularly use 3D printing both in and out of the classroom setting, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Athena Rowe. I'm a computer science student from West Sacramento, and I strongly oppose this bill.
My name is Mustafa Azar. I'm a Monterey County resident and constituent, and I strongly oppose this bill on First and Fourth Amendment grounds.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alexander Shopov, and I am a physics student and an observatory volunteer that relies on 3D printers to maintain their scopes. I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Owen Sturzel. I'm a private citizen and resident of Hayward, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Link, from a resident of Fremont, and I strongly oppose this bill.
I am Carmen Mork, resident of Briones, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is James Grindell. I'm a software developer, Yolo County resident, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Hi, I'm Jacob Koje, a resident of San Francisco County. I'm an electrical engineer that works in the pharma industry, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Hello, Senators. My name is Logan Hauga. I'm a constituent of Dixon, California, and a registered Democratic voter. As a computer science student and a software leader of competitive robotics at Sacramento State, and for other small makerspaces across the state that don't have a cutout in this bill, I strongly oppose.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emmanuel Garcia Razo. I am a student at Sac State and a 3D printing enthusiast, and I strongly oppose this.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Freeman. I'm a high school student, and I strongly oppose.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Scott Seaver. I'm a mechanical engineer, lifelong California resident, Democrat, supporter of effective gun control, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Xavier Patton, Sacramento native and electronics engineer. I've been involved in the Sacramento maker community since I was a little kid. I am in strong opposition.
Hello, my name is Sirus Rostami. I am an unaffiliated Santa Clara County resident, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Ashley Dragoo. I am a Sacramento County resident, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Nick Carano, San Jose, California, 3D printing enthusiast. I strongly oppose this bill.
Hi, I'm Stephen Estes from Merced, California, and I strongly oppose this bill. And hello, Senator Caballero.
I'm Courtney LeCount from Ripon, California. I'm an arcade game repair technician, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Niall Light from Livermore, California, mechanical engineer. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hedrick Pasegan. I drove 7 hours from Diamond Bar, LA County to be here to say I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, my name is Brandon Kendrick, a resident of Citrus Heights, California. I'm a stay-at-home father, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Ben Wilhelm. I am a parent and a teacher in Amador County, California. For the sake of both my students and my son, I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you very much for being here.
Hello, my name is Gideon, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Alexander Mauger. I'm a robotics and automation consultant representing Redwood Prototyping LLC, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Michael, and I don't represent anyone, but I oppose this bill and I support the Bill of Rights.
My name is Ted. I represent the American River College Engineering Club, and we strongly oppose this bill, as well as Connor, who had to leave early, but was the president of the competitive robotics team at Sac State University, and also opposes this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chris Smith, Sacramento County resident, finance accounting professional. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, Eric Behrens, Sacramento resident, creator, fixer, and tinker. I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Ian McClellan, not an enthusiast, but a concerned computer engineer and Contra Costa County resident. I oppose this bill on the grounds of supporting the corporate intrusion into creativity and strangling thereof.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hannah Nelson, a student from Santa Barbara, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Dylan Coons, Orangeville resident, artist. I oppose this bill on grounds of freedom of expression.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm James Cannon. I'm a business owner, and for the last 37 years, I've been an IT professional. I strongly oppose the bill, and I hope you guys do as well.
Namaste. Jay Patel. I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you for time.
Thank you very much.
My name is Daniel Martin. I drove 400 miles to be here today from Orange County, and I strongly oppose.
Thank you.
My name is Chase Anderson, Vallejo resident, embedded security developer, and open source advocate. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
I'm Aaron J., a software developer for 2 decades, and more recently, a small business owner. I'm also a constituent of the bill's author in Santa Mona, Contra Costa County. I strongly oppose this technically unworkable, expensive, and infeasible bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amr Abdullati. I'm a medical doctor and an engineer working in Sacramento. I strongly oppose this bill because it would have prevented me from saving lives during the COVID pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, David Bullock on behalf of the San Fernando Valley chapter of the California Pistol and Rifles Association. We are in opposition. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? It looks like we have, I was going to say exhausted the number of people that are here, but I literally mean exhausted everybody. So that concludes our testimony for today. We'll bring it back to the committee for questions or, yes, Senator Perez.
Yes. So I do have a couple of questions, and I think it'll be a mix of questions for both the author as well as like the support and opposition. I first want to acknowledge that this is not a space that I have a lot of information or knowledge about, but one of my best friends in the world, her husband, is very active in the kind of 3D printing community and is also a very strong supporter of gun control. And so I know there's some opposition here, those that are opposing, related to, 2A issues. I'm a very strong supporter of gun control myself, but there's other folks that are here because of these surveillance pieces and questions about that. And so I think first and foremost, just in terms of how this bill is going to operate, we have individuals like my friend's husband who already own 3D printers. We have schools, libraries that already have these systems in place. And so what is the kind of vision for introducing this software, to people that already own this type of machinery? Would it be expected that they kind of download this software? What would happen if they did not do so due to no fault of their own, because not everybody keeps up with the money bills that we're passing up here? And so it just first like to start off by just hearing like a kind of operational perspective.
I don't know who's chairing. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. You threw me off. Thank you, Through the chair, thank you, Senator, for that. And I just want to start by saying, this bill, and I know, and I'm, if you don't mind, turn it over to my sponsors in just a second to answer your technical questions. And the law that went into effect in New York, by no means do we, here in California, want to stop the 3D printing enthusiasts from printing. That's absolutely not the goal, which is why the bill actually sets standards using experts, because to your point, we are not the experts who can make sure this is maximally effective and minimally disruptive, which is the goal of the bill. And as someone who, I will put on the record, one of the things I did prior to getting this legislature was fight to open maker spaces at every elementary school in my district, because I think these kind of skills are actually a critically important part of our academic institutions. And so the bill is crafted in a way that would allow our 3D printing enthusiasts to continue to print and just not print the files that are firearms. But you have very technical questions, so if you don't mind, I'll turn it over to my sponsor.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the question, Senator. A very clear answer for folks who already have 3D printers, even folks who buy 3D printers up through 2029 under the bill, that doesn't impact them at all. There's no expectation that they download new software, that they upgrade, the property they already have. They're actually allowed to resell printers that don't have firearm blocking technology under an exemption that we amended into the bill. The bill is really focused as a business regulation on 3D printer manufacturers to be sure they're incorporating this technology into printers that they're selling in California after 2029.
So the bill would only apply towards businesses that are operating and utilizing 3D printers, or it would apply to businesses building 3D printers that are selling them, just so I'm clear.
Yeah, that's right. So actual printer manufacturers. So, really in that market, there's a handful of companies that kind of have the majority of the market share, as well as really any other 3D printer manufacturer that's going to sell through, the retail process in California.
I heard some of the folks that came up in opposition mention this, who kind of small businesses in this space, and this was also a question that came up from, as I mentioned, a constituent. The cost concerns, how this might be cost prohibitive for these maker spaces, or these are startup ventures, and in many cases these are small business owners, and this kind of preventing and stifling the ability of somebody who maybe wants to get started in this space, because there are cost challenges with implementing the software. I have no idea how much this costs, and I don't know if there are like issues with that, or if that's something that you've talked through. And I'm not sure if opposition has any commentary on that too, but just how to kind of navigate some of those cost challenges for maybe somebody that's they're not interested in printing guns, but wants to do the right thing, is trying to create innovative technology and allowing them to be able to do that.
Mr. Chair, can I?
Thank you. I think it's important to not sort of presuppose that there's going to be high costs associated with this. Ultimately, we need to think about what are the incentives that the 3D printer manufacturers have. They want to get printers out to as many people as possible. We have seen the price point of printers dropping, which is fantastic. It's making this, an avenue for creativity, for innovation that's open to more people. I don't think there's any reason to necessarily assume that blocking technology that's going to be deployed at scale, developed over many, many years here with very, flexible different options for how manufacturers incorporate it. The bill lets out, sets forth kind of a variety of ways that it can be incorporated, different design forms, to really give manufacturers maximum flexibility to find the technology that's going to be, essentially the cheapest and easiest for them to incorporate into their machines, so that those price points don't go up. Certainly, increasing costs to small businesses, maker spaces, educators is not a goal of the bill. That is something that we all want to protect against. So I think it's important to not move forward with, the negative assumptions about what might happen here, when we know the economics of the manufacturers is going to be to
Can I
cost as low as possible.
can I comment on the economics?
No, only if a member asks you a question.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to ask him a question?
Yeah, sure. I would love to hear from
Okay.
opposition to.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. That's not how the technology works, unfortunately. It's the fundamental core of the technology. And as you heard the list, the manufacturers of these machines all have said this is not possible. They spoke up about this. They've been writing to everyone here that the technology does not work in this manner in any capacity. There are tons of different printers. And the wonderful thing about 3D printers is it's open source. You can make your own. I can make my own and make it do whatever. But adding software to someone else's platform that doesn't work with yours is not compatible. It wouldn't work. It'd be like me putting an app for an Android on your iPhone. It doesn't compat. It would not work. And the other thing is we're asking people in this to block the software, to block shapes, to block objects. Objects don't have intent. And the way the software works and what they're talking about, it doesn't work that way. It's lines of code. It's G code. Just like this eyeball I have here from the Mayo Clinic, this would be considered, I'm not kidding, this would be considered a firearm part based on exactly what you have because of the mounting piece in the back. The cylinder hole in the back would show up exactly as this. And the company that they're working with, FISNA, I've used their technology. Everyone in the industry has used their technology. It did not work, and that's why it was taken out of Thangs. The executive of Thangs was here and Shapeways last week and spoke to this. And we all are for gun safety and all sorts of stuff like this. And this isn't a firearm bill because the technology you're talking about has nothing to do with firearms. You can't make, there's also been no deaths of 3D printed guns ever from the DoD or ATF or anyone because it's plastic. No one makes these because it is plastic. The industrial materials, those come from machines that cost $1 million. And the materials themselves cost tens of thousands of dollars in powder form to make metal. And I mean, you can do WHAM and other stuff like that. I won't get into the all that, but that's not how the technology works fundamentally. And to say, oh, dramatic effect.
I think that means it's time for you to finish your comment.
So I'll finish up. Yeah, just fundamentally the technology. I mean, I work with everyone around the planet. I've been working in this industry for over 7 years, traveling around the planet, working with everyone. Everyone. The technology does not fundamentally work the way they're asking.
Thank you for that context. And just so I'm clear, as assembly member, is your bill is applying to all 3D printers, right? So those that print in plastic, metal, sugar, etc.
So if
yes,
sorry, I'm trying to keep protocol here. Can let me answer that in 1 second. And then I just want to say a couple things. One is, as you will note in the system and in the analysis, the major 3D companies, printing companies are not opposed to this, which I think can instruct us that they don't think this is impossible. I think that's
That's incorrect.
Okay, sir, okay. Excuse me. Okay. You're not allowed to speak unless a member asks you a question. We're not going to tolerate any outbursts. Please exercise decorum, or I'll have to ask you to leave. Assemblymember Bauer-Kahan has the floor. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then secondly, I would note, as was noted in the opening testimony from my witnesses, we actually have seen raids of these guns that are being printed in California. So I wanted to correct the record there as well. I'm not making up a problem. There is a problem here. And then if I can turn it over on the technical questions to my witnesses.
Certainly I can underscore on the nature of the problem and the impact that this sort of acceleration of finding 3D printed guns has been having. We've seen numerous instances in California just in the last 6 months. So I think one of the things that has come up from the opposition has been it's already illegal. And in fact, I actually think some of the opposition maybe is a little confused about the fact that it is already illegal to even transfer files and things like gun files are illegal in California already. So really what we're talking about here is the actual preventative solution, the upstream solution that stops the guns from being printed in the first place. On the technical question, if you could actually just repeat, and there was a lot said there, I'm happy to answer any specifics.
Yeah, no, I just very specific. Just does the bill apply to all types of 3D printers? So those that print in plastic, metal, sugar, etc. So it would be everything.
As written, there's no specification across that. I don't want to speak for the assembly member, but I'm sure if there were an invitation to amend to not address, say, 3D printed chocolate or sugar or something like that, that's absolutely the kind of policy change that I think we'd be open to consider. But the materials that 3D printers work with, are getting increasingly strong. We are seeing, the core frames and receivers of guns are capable of being printed with 3D printers. There are now, thanks to sort of very active communities of online extremists who have been purposefully trying to refine these files so that they can be increasingly effective 3D printed firearms. We are seeing some that only need, really a screw or a rubber band. It's getting more sophisticated, so we need this blocking technology to be installed so we can get ahead of the problem.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure, because I had one last question. So, you kind of started mentioning this, and I just wanted to understand. Like, these are very genuine questions because I'm learning about this in real time as you all are explaining this to me, and as I was reading the bill last night. Regulating websites that distribute 3D files is already in law. So that is legislation that has been passed previously. So regulating companies that are producing 3D, like parts of 3D guns, already exist. Is that what you just said and you just referred to?
Through the chair, may I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so the sort of distributing files for 3D printed guns, already illegal.
Okay.
Printing them, already illegal. We are still seeing them. We are still seeing recoveries of these guns. We're seeing ghost gun manufacturing operations with, they're finding dozens of 3D printed firearm parts at a time and multiple 3D printers, sometimes in teenagers' bedrooms. We're just trying to have technology equipped on those printers. So it's not even regulating a specific segment of 3D printer manufacturers. It's not, focused on ones that can print guns specifically. It'll be technology on all 3D printers.
Okay.
Given the increasing capabilities.
And I ask those questions because I think one of the main concerns that I've heard, from my constituent is, I think out of all these things, and the questions that he had was just about the surveillance issue. And are we essentially creating like a system where we're tracking everybody that happens to own a 3D printer, including individuals like himself? The individual I'm talking about lives in the city of Monterey Park. I represent the city of Monterey Park. If you're familiar, we had a mass shooting that happened about 4 years ago, and had a number of individuals who died as a result of that mass shooting. And so this is an issue that he cares a lot about personally, but also has these questions about privacy as well. I'm not quite sure how you resolve that here, but I would love to and that at all, because that's just the issue that has been raised to me that I'm trying to navigate as somebody that obviously wants to keep our community safe. And at the same time, I think we have real concerns about privacy and data right now, as the chair of privacy would so well know.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, and to your point, as the chair of privacy who defends the privacy of Californians, and I believe I do try every day, that's obviously a critically important piece of any legislation that moves through this process. And so, that is a question I've asked of experts. I've met with academic researchers that research this technology at Berkeley, at Dartmouth, at other universities, and they've assured me that this would not be, that the standards that are set through this bill will ensure that this is happening locally and we're not sending the files off so that what you're printing is being surveilled. But if you would like more details, I'm sure my witness could provide better technical depth on that.
Does that answer your question, or do you want additional background?
I think that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator, for your question.
I think that answered her question. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Excuse me. Once again, no outbursts are tolerated, no clapping, no interrupting. If you continue to disrupt the meeting, you'll be escorted out. We will have decorum as we continue this discussion. Vice Chair Cierto.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to get away from the technical stuff, and I'm going to think like a little criminal, okay? I want to make ghost guns, and I have my little 3D printer at home. I know it's illegal. I'm going to make my little ghost gun or whatever it is. You say it's illegal. I already know it. I'm already breaking the law. Now you tell me, oh, we're going to come in and make you put a thing in there. I'm not going to. I'm going to put it in the closet. Or if I want to go buy one, I'm going to go out of state. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to put it in the back of my truck underneath a blanket. I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to continue to do what's illegal because I don't care that it's illegal. That's not going to stop. somebody who is doing this. In other words, this bill like this is ineffective in its, trying to get people that already don't really care what the law is to stop what they're doing. All it's going to do is have potential real ramifications for people that use this technology and advancing the technology while other players come in to try to install things that they don't know are going to work. The witness that I think knows a lot about this has already given us kind of the lowdown on how effective this stuff is. So, just like the gun laws that come up against the Second Amendment, they're just, you can't keep passing things that are against the Constitution because they're just not legal. And when you do pass things like this, okay, have you been able to stop them? No, it's illegal. And yet, what are we finding? We're finding that people are making them. So what do? We go after those people. This isn't going to help us do that. This isn't going to change anything. All this is going to do is potentially create big problems for people that legally use this type of technology. We don't have the technology to say that the printer is going to recognize that this is oh, wait a minute, this guy's doing a ghost gun. So somehow we're going to grind the whole thing to a halt. It's not there. And I haven't heard anybody tell me that it is. I've heard you tell me it's 4 years away. That means nothing to me. This is an ineffective approach with way too much collateral damage that's possible to a burgeoning industry out there for a lot of people that are very creative people, by the way, that their livelihood depends on this technology. So again, you need to go after the people that are breaking laws, not after the technology that they use, because they'll continue to use that technology whether you make new laws that affect everything else or not.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from members of the committee? Senator Cortese.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate hearing both sides of this. I'm kind of hearing comments like that from colleagues, whether they're for or against. I am very picky about firearms legislation, and there's a lot I don't support if it doesn't make sense. I appreciate the opposition arguments in the sense of, explaining something that, fairly recently, and at least in the history of firearms, fairly recently, has become, has become an emerging and far greater used technology in terms of 3D printing. But as good as the arguments are, we don't allow open source firearms production. Whether firearms production is being done with 3D printing through software, through gun files, which I think is what this bill's trying to take a piece out of, or whether folks, are going to stand up and say, "Hey, that's not how it works." I understand that. It's it's an open source technology that most people are relying upon. That's not okay either. I mean, it isn't recently that we started putting serial numbers on firearms. I mean, that goes back decades and decades and decades, and it's not just to force people to register their guns or whatever. It's so that you can trace guns that are used in crimes. It's so that you can recover your firearm if it's been stolen, and you can identify that that's actually the one that you own. It's so that you can insure your firearms. There's a whole bunch of commercially practicable reasons that we don't allow folks to just sort of produce firearms. And by the way, 3D printing isn't the only way to do it. I mean, there's machine shops anywhere up and down the state of California, throughout all 50 states in this country. They really wanted to create a firearm overnight, tonight, or probably dozens of them without serial numbers. And they do. Some do. People are out there, DOJ and so forth, trying to catch them. It's not okay, though. So I understand the arguments of, hey, look, you got to get the criminal, the felon, don't go after the 3D printers. But if we can take a piece out of the enforcement side of it by, addressing someone might say this is a statement bill. You're just making a statement that you don't want guns being 3D printed. It is. I think it wants to create a situation where that's not happening, but I also think it's a statement, almost like if you put a warning on the side of every 3D printer that said it is illegal to use this device to create a firearm, as they've been defined in California code. So I don't know how you segregate BB guns. I don't really recommend anymore, even though I grew up with them, promulgating a whole bunch of toy guns or chocolate guns or things like that to give to your kids, unless you want to put them through full gun training and hunter safety course and everything else, so they actually know how to handle these things. So I'm sympathetic, but I also think the industry needs to come forward with people who want to tackle these issues, like the author, and offer amendments that will help clean things up. I know it's getting late in the session. I'm sure it sounds like you're willing to work with them on trying to take some of the edges off of this that might still exist. But I'm going to support it today just because, as you know, I chair the outdoor caucus here. I just don't see the need, and I apologize for those who do, but we have a different opinion on that. I just don't see that I have a need when hunting season starts next month in California to have a 3D produced firearm. I do understand that people want to have freedom in terms, just like Wozniak did, in terms of experimenting with things you could produce with this technology, and great things are going to come from that. Accidental discoveries are going to come from that, just like he kind of accidentally discovered the personal computer. We want you all to be doing that. We love that about California. But I don't think coming after a bill that's trying to minimize the production of firearms that don't have serial numbers that are registered with the DOJ, I don't think that's the way to promote any of the real good stuff. So I'm supporting the bill, and I appreciate the chair bearing with me to explain. I think the chair knows I land in different places. I haven't been a big supporter of hardware restrictions on firearms. I think we kind of really need to start focusing on the people that are running around that shouldn't have firearms in the first place. That's where I'd like to see us focus more. But this prevents some of that too. And it certainly prevents young people who may be very well-intentioned, but are having mental health issues, which is extraordinarily common right now, who really shouldn't have a gun in their hands at that moment, from doing that possibly. And I think the bill would probably save lives at some point. So I apologize for making two separate statements there. Again, Chair, thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you very much. Senator Caballero?
In the interest of time, I'm going to join my colleague in his statement. I don't always, I'm very selective in the gun bills that I support because I don't want to vote just because it looks good. It's got to work. And I'm from a hunting family. They took me out to show me how to shoot a gun when I was 10 years old. I didn't like it, so I haven't touched a gun since. But they hunted and they ate everything they hunted, and they lived out in rural area of Arizona. So I want the guns to make sense, but I also think there's something here. I'm going to vote for it today. I may not on the floor. I think there's some more discussion that needs to be had. And I really appreciate everybody coming out here today because I learned a lot about the applications of that technology to be able to create things that do really good things in our lives. And I appreciate it. So thank you very much. And I will be voting yes today.
Any other comments? Turn it back over to close.
Thank you, senators. I appreciate the robust conversation. I agree with the senator that I appreciate everyone who showed up today to support and oppose the bill. I think these conversations are critically important. And I couldn't agree more with our colleague from Santa Clara. I think I got that right. San Jose, sorry. The senator from San Jose. That there is so much promise in this technology and every technology out of California, but I think we can both create that promise and stop the printing of these firearms that, to the point that was made, cannot be tracked and monitored in the way the other firearms we sell in California will. So with that, respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Okay, I entertain a motion on the bill, AB 2047. Moved by Senator Cortese, thank you. If we can please call the roll.
AB 2047 Bauer-Kahan, motion is to pass as amended to appropriations. Araguin?
Aye.
Araguin, aye. Sayarto?
No.
Sayarto, no. Caballero? Caballero, aye. Cortese?
Aye.
Cortese, aye. Perez? Wiener? Wiener, aye.
We'll keep that bill on call for after Senate.
Thank you, Senator.
Kyle, everyone in from the 3D printing. Oh my God. Lewis, get over here. Is there a way you can take a photo of us? Is that possible? I know you're very busy. I'll put it on super wide. My daughter. Oh, no way. Look at that. Just go back as far as you can. Sit, wait. Lewis, get over here. Hey, I'm going to come hang out with you guys.
What's up, man? Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Good workout, Sarah.
You're welcome. All right, everybody in?
We really appreciate what you guys are doing.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, get in. Take your friends. People gotta go. They got beers.
Oh man, that was the funniest shit.
Yeah.
Readier than ever. I'm not gonna vote on this just because it looks good.
I know.
3 seconds later, I'm gonna vote on it because it looks good.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate it. As you saw, there is some movement. People are understanding what's going on. All of your voices here are so important. Like, if you saw the people that are for this bill, it was the same person in the same red shirt with the same logo over and over and over again. It was a carbon copy. But if you look around here, I see everyone on the planet. There's people from all over the world, every walk of life, every age, everything. Like, that's what this is about. And that's what we're here about. This isn't just one issue. This is the Constitution we're talking about. They want to violate our rights by putting software. And it's like, they may not understand, oh, we can just put something on a printer and it'll be fine because they don't understand the technology. But if you take a step back, they're saying, we want to put stuff on your computer so we know what you're doing so we can decide what you're doing. And as you heard, the people in there have no idea what you guys are doing. I mean, everything from cancer doctors to people making toys to doing this to doing everything like that. Like, that's what's so important about this. And they're going to move it to appropriations, where they're going to evaluate the costs of this and all those other elements of it. I'm working with the ACLU still on this because of the privacy issues, because of this. Because the core of it, they heard it right there. This is not how the technology works. That pen on your desk could be a pen, it could be a weapon, it could be used to help with a tracheotomy. It's a tube, it's a circle, it's a, all these things. But the problem we're all facing is the lack of overall education. So, because people just don't know. Like, they even said, like, I'm learning about this right now. They have tons of bills. They're going through and they're going, wait, what? I got to be an expert on this? And so they're reaching. And they're reaching out to all of you. Like Perez's constituents. Like, I know who went over and talked to her and stuff like that. But what I hope this shows everyone more than anything is that it actually works. The government works. They want you to think it doesn't, so you don't come out here and do this. But what you did today inspired people all over the world. My phone has been blowing up all day. I went down the line, showed people, everyone's texting, it's a whole thing. People are talking about it everywhere. And also, like, I went through and made sure schools, education programs, all the businesses affected by this. There's like Printed Solid, Prusa, all the companies, everyone that uses a 3D printer, Stratasys, EOS, all of them are watching this. Everyone is seeing this, and they're all seeing you stand up for this. And this is where it begins, because it's going to have to continue on. And there's other things in other states. I'm already working on initiatives because I kind of think that the whole Everytown goal has always been, we'll focus on the blue states first because they're easy to sway. They're already going to go with our agenda. We're going to take advantage of that. Then we're going to have some momentum. We're going to go to purple states. Then we're going to go to red because we'll be so big by then it won't matter. And then we'll go fed. And that's their jam. That's what they do. They're a business. And we're here to stop that nonsense because, we're not trying to do anything illegal, but they don't understand that. But they're starting to. And it's a tough process. This is not easy. Obviously, right? Like, I'm not a litigator. I'm not. I run the show 3D Printing Nerd, and I run the Community Manufacturing Initiative. I saw these bills popping up, and I was like, this is crazy. Someone's got to do something. I was calling the companies. No one was doing anything. So I got in my car in LA, and I drove up to the assembly. I had the Handgun Association step down so I could hop up there with the EFF and take this over and start doing this way, because look at everyone that's here. And we're going to keep doing this. And hopefully you go back to your community with the weapons I like to say that we're creating for you. Like on 3D Printing Nerd, Lewis's show, all the other influencers out there that are starting to make content about this. I know Grant at 3D Musketeers is putting out stuff. 3D Professor better have made something. If he hasn't, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. He's a friend. All these people are starting to do stuff. And I'll tell you right now why you don't see the biggest 3D printing companies here right now with you, because they are scared out of their mind of going against a bill that has firearm in the title. That's why I asked them flat out, is this just because it's firearm in the title? Call that out to people. Call out the stuff in the room. It's not a conspiracy. People have told me they don't want to go against the firearm bill because of the optics. Because, oh my God, you're against this. When I first started this opposition, my friend runs the Department of Children and Family Youth Services for the city of San Francisco. And she was like, what the hell are you doing? I can't support you. You're on your own. I said, did you read the bill? No.
They didn't read the bill until last night.
What?
And now the person that said I read this bill last night is
that
probably
one.
the closest they got to actually reading this bill at all. Because the other person all the way on the right, he really sounded like he understood it. He sounded like he understood the problem. Like, yeah, you could just go to Home Depot and make a gun right now.
Yeah.
So this is probably not a good idea, which is why I'm going to vote yes for it. And then there was the woman that said, I'm not going to vote for this just because it sounds good. I'm not going to vote, which is why I'm going to vote for it just because it's like, I'm glad that this stuff is on camera, and I'm glad that we get to see it, show it to a lot of people. They literally said, I'm not going to vote for it just because it sounds good. This probably won't work. You could go to Home Depot and build one anyway. I'm going to sign it. Like, more people need to see this.
He said you could make one overnight tonight, super fast.
My personal favorite is there was the woman, she showed up with the red shirt like everybody else, and she's like, am I for or against this? And then somebody had to tell her. That should make it very obvious. I don't have $50 million a year to give to an organization to get people to pretend that they care about something that they don't care about. And the one thing that all of you have on your side that they don't is winning in the short term and winning in the long term. They don't even know what side they're on. That's going to lose in the long term. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up. And like, it also shows that they had 14 or 16 people for them, and how many people were for us? Like 90, 100?
These are over 100 of us here.
And this is just the people that decide.
200 people. Yeah, that came in and did their thing and left, right? Over 200. Aw. And then people brought their families. Like, this was a family event.
People brought their
Think
infants.
about that. This is almost like a mini rep rap festival. I'm surprised someone didn't build a Voron while we were here all day. Like, come on. Like, I mean, like, but that's, right? Yeah, but that's exactly it. Like, look at all these smiling faces up here, and compare the conversations you had while you were waiting with the Every Town people, right?
Yeah,
very different. Very different. Yeah, but that's it. That's the thing is, like, I hope you care. Yes. Oh, I mean, maybe. I can't hear a thing you're saying. Well, I don't know.
The possibility of linking up with 1856 for age verification. We're wondering if it's going to be something that people could possibly link to this project because both are ongoing issues.
Yes, you should. I also got 501 involved as well, too, for California. They've been supporting the effort and getting on board. Yeah, what's your question?
Oh, it's not a question, but more of a call to action. Look, my people, cyber people, this is not about 3D printing, okay? They are building a service. Once breached, it's gonna leak your G code, leak everybody's G code, and to guess who? Iran, Russia, China. That's what's gonna happen. They're creating the biggest cybersecurity threat. They are painting a massive target on that service. And guess their track record? Not good. I can tell you that for free. Look at Sunburst. You want Sunburst 2.0? I guess not. So not only the 3D printer people, not only the makers, the cybersecurity people, you gotta take action too. They're creating a cybersecurity threat. They're not only threatening people's privacy, okay? I think I'm the only two cyber that showed up today. More of us gotta show up. More of us gotta say that, hey, look, you're creating something that could potentially threaten national security. It's not a joke.
No, it's not. And I think that's a great point too, is in that go into your communities like that and fire them up exactly like you're saying. Because this was the last big public hearing. Then it goes to appropriations, and then it goes elsewhere. But in other states, it's just starting up. In Delaware, the home to Printed Solid and Prussia, they started passing the bill, the exact same thing. And just so you know, the litigator for Everytown said the exact same thing in the last 3 hearings. She reads the same speech, the same thing, because they know they've got the poison pill on the gun mention on the firearm. That's what they're trying to use. They're trying to gaslight you into going along with this stuff. So take that power away from them. This is a tech bill from here out. This is not a firearm bill. This is a surveillance bill. This is an invasion of privacy. This is a constitutional bill. This is so much more than just a little 3D printed bill. And if you go into the world and start saying that, you get very different reactions from people. Oh, yeah. Well, so it totally makes a monopoly of it. So here's the thing. They made an amendment to take out the criminalization aspect of this. So that's minimizing expenses for the state is what they care about. So that takes the Department of Justice out of this, which removes, I believe, a thing called due process and all these other constitutional things. Because now it's just civil the way they want it, the way it is now. It is strictly civil. So what that means is all these other fines are still there, but I can sue you, and then you can sue someone else, and a printer company can sue someone. But in the meantime, I could use that as a tactic, just like you said. If you're manufacturing a bunch of cool 3D printed stuff and I'm trying to compete for that business, I could organize a lawsuit, shut you down, and then I could go make that. And then I can go do that. They're creating warfare with legislation that they don't even know about. They're not even paying attention to that aspect of it. There's so many loopholes in here. It's almost like whack-a-mole of like stupidity. There is so many opportunities in here and so many violations on it, but that also goes to show you, they do not care about your safety. They're trying to say this is a safety bill, we're gonna make you safer, we're just put a thing on the front of it. It sounds like in their head, they think they're gonna put an orange tip on the front of a toy gun so cops won't shoot you. Like that's in their head how they think they're fixing this, but that's not how it is. That doesn't work. Yeah, get up here, Doc. Yeah, let this doc take this.
Sure. I also want to add, I was sitting outside when a lot of you guys were speaking, and there were lovely lobbyists out here as well, and a lot of them didn't know anything about this issue. But I saw this in real time when they saw the line of people standing in opposition and a line of people standing in support. Oh. And when they saw that line, their first assumption was, oh, this is a ghost gun bill. This must be the line to support this ghost gun bill. And then when the officer said, no, this is the opposition, they all kind of had this look on their face of like, really?
Oh, yeah.
These people are out of their minds. And then I think it was me and somebody else, I think we all spoke to them and we said, no, just to be clear, this is not a ghost gun bill.
Yes.
This is a tech surveillance bill, and that's why we oppose it. Most of us here don't like guns that much, right? I'm sure there are some that do, but for the most part, I don't think so. But when we said, hey, this is actually about this technology doesn't work. This is a tech bill. They're trying to say that this is something that they're going to install on printers, but printers aren't that smart. They cannot detect shape. They cannot detect intent. They can't do any of that stuff. That's when you kind of saw the wheels. And they actually said to me, you know what? You kind of changed my mind a little bit. So.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, we got to start in a place of logic. Like when I work, doing the show 3D Printing, we travel around and meet a lot of people that are getting involved in 3D printing and they don't understand the concept of it. So I say, look, let's take it really simple. Let's go to the basics. And that's what we need to do with this legislation, with when you talk to people. Like, if people don't understand the concept of it, talk with the small stuff on it. Like, meet them on their level. And I think that's what's core on any of this stuff. And then you really get to convert them, because then they take that information and they put it in their own words. They're able to feel like they have strength to bring this forward, because the core of this is an object does not have intent. And if you want to say, oh, that same thing as guns and whatever and things like that, that's okay, sure, whatever. But you know what? A gun is meant to shoot a projectile. And that is fine. I can use the gun to hammer and things, and I've definitely done that camping, and I know I shouldn't. I get yelled at, but whatever. But a 3D printer is to make things. Then if you go through that process, it's making something, and then you take that thing and make something else. It's a whole nother step. There's a whole nother part of it. And when you tell that to people, they understand. Because the imagery, just so you know, the imagery that Everytown uses is a A1 from Bamboo printing a gun that looks like a replica with all the details on it, pointed like this with support material coming off of it. But if you don't know 3D printing, if you don't understand that, that looks real and that's scary as fuck, right? Like, that is crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear in front of the little one. But there's that aspect of it too. Yeah, it's the imagery. It's that imagery, and that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to pass over? Give him the mic. Yeah, pass over.
Oh, I wanted to make a quick comment.
Yeah.
A quick comment that it really does feel like a farce to me.
Hold on, guys. Go for it.
A quick comment. It really does feel like a farce to me because I feel like a genuine bad actor would just be able to circumvent this so easily by so many different ways.
Oh.
Whether server spoofing, buying your electronics hardware from China, getting older hardware like that one senator even mentioned, like on the
yeah,
on the board. You know, you can. If you want to commit a crime, you're going to find a way to commit that crime.
Exactly. You can go drive to Nevada and go buy the thing, or someone can send it to you, right? Yeah, yeah. You have it? Hold this piece. Hold the bar. Hold the rod. There you go.
I actually explored this last night. I was run a bunch of scenarios through the large language model.
Yeah.
On how people would get around it. Well, guess the thing that I'm not gonna say which AI I use, but the thing that AI said is the most likely is you driving to the nearest border town. Doesn't matter you want to do Nevada, doesn't matter if you want to do Oregon, doesn't matter if you want to do Arizona. You drive there, and you rent a PO box because this item is not federally controlled. So you get a PO box, and you just ship it right there.
Yeah.
And the PO box costs nothing.
Sure.
Much cheaper to buy the stuff to build the gun at
Yeah.
Home Depot, though.
Yeah,
Much
get
less
over here.
driving, too.
Oh, yeah, and one last thing I want to say. Get over here real quick. I'm going to hand you the mic. Yeah.
Real quick on that point, don't get complacent about that because they are going to try to put it up federally, and then it'll be a lot harder to drop ship or drive across the border.
Yeah, it is going to go federal, and that's part of the goal here, too, is with this. But something you should all know, and then let's get Ann over here and then get you. But one thing to know is that the 3D printing companies are not going to go along with this. That's why I spoke up and got yelled at. But I don't care because they're not. She's like, oh, I've talked to the big 3D printing companies. They said they're down with this. They're not. None of them are down with this. They are not a part of this because it's not possible. No company would say, I can do something that's not possible. It's the easiest example to your friends, I think, is saying cars can't fly, right? But I want to mandate that all cars in California have to fly. Well, I can't do that. Well, you can't have a car here now. That's exactly what they're saying. That's how vivid it is. Hi, Ann.
Hello. I think I'd like to point out the senator who talked about a specific person who lives in her district that talked to her and sent a message about this person giving her both sides of the argument and telling her in their own words why this bill was concerning to them. And I think that really speaks to how important a single person calling in could potentially be. And so I want everyone to take this as a lesson. When you call all of the offices of the senators, especially the senator whose district you live in, speak specifics. Say, I live in this city, this concerns me for this reason. Make sure that you say your background, make yourself human. Don't just call in and say, I vote this. They're not looking at a tally of how many people call in. They're looking for really personal stories like this that kind of speak to them and speak to the other assembly members that they can bring in. And kind of from the business perspective, these senators, this is their full-time job. Like all of us that work in corporate, we're kind of pushed to show that we're listening to people, show that we're providing impact. These people are the same way. This is their job. They're trying to prove to everyone else in the room that they're doing their job well, they're providing impact, they're working for the people of California, and you need to help them do their job. If you make their job easy, that's what moves the needle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way of putting it. I love that, Ann. It's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, that's the thing. That's why it's important to call your representatives, especially, we'll get you locally. Like, it makes a difference because they care locally. You know, all the rhetoric about people it's not. Or this gentleman over here wanted to. Here in the blue?
I already spoke.
Okay. Here.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
I really appreciate it.
I was happy to come. Thank you for posting the video. I came on that first Amtrak train that I could get, got a hotel, and made sure I was here. You know, my favorite thing to see today was them squirming at the realization that, we actually have to argue our points and be like oh, we have to talk about chocolate guns when they mentioned sugar printers.
That was so good.
Yeah,
that was so.
amazing.
I was like, Ellie, they're talking about Cocoa Press.
Yeah. And they had to dodge it.
Yeah.
You could hear the lobbying money in their words when they were like avoiding mentioning that they didn't have a specific protection over plastic or what material. You can't even make a gun out of plastic. It's gonna blow up in your face, right?
She didn't know what that was.
Yeah, she didn't know what that was.
When she said, "What type of do you have? Is this going to include these types of printers or those?" Yeah, is this? Where's? Oh, it's not my prepared
Let
notes.
me dodge it. My technical person. Let me bounce it back to you. What was the question in the first place? Oh no, I don't want to answer
And
this
that
one.
wasn't a technical person that was up there to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was my favorite part. And seeing that actually managed to change, I could tell like the chair's words at the end of it, where they had to actually acknowledge, hold on a second. There's some nonsense going on over here. There's something about this that isn't adding up. I'm still going to vote yes. Because I like gun control, right?
Because they're scared.
Yeah, they're scared. They're scared. But they mentioned quite a bit that, like, if this gets more support, I'm probably not going to vote for it the next time. Or
definitely said, she said that too. Sotomayor, not Sotomayor, but Suerta, she said that.
Yeah. And seeing that filled me with hope because I really have never participated in something like this. And seeing that it could happen like this and it just naturally, and these people are like, I've got to get these votes, don't I? Huh? All right, let me come back to you on this one. I'll say yes right now because gun control good, but they're going to think about it now, and now it's an actual issue. And now that it's going to be more popular, the media is going to catch up onto it. I hope, and it'll keep snowballing like that.
Absolutely. I mean, what's really neat, too, is they also saw a variety of faces. So they saw their city coming up and talking to them. That was what was so important about this. They didn't see the same people wearing the same cookie-cutter shirt, blah, blah, blah. They saw everyone in their city. You represent everything.
Maybe we should have had a cookie-cutter shirt.
Yeah, maybe.
Red shirt instead of blue suit next time.
I know, right? I mean, it's like Aubrey and I went blue this time. Yeah, you want to pass it on? Thank you. Did you want to say something? Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. This is amazing.
So, you're all familiar with 3D printing, I assume.
What? What'd you say?
Familiar with 3D printing.
Oh, learning.
Learning. In the best case scenario, this kind of law, the best way that this technology could work, assuming there's no abuse, which there would be abuse. If there was no abuse and they had it working perfectly, you're going to be designing a print, you're going to be satisfied with what you've made, and you're going to slice it, try to print it, and it's going to tell you this is a gun part. You have no idea why. And so then you have to go through and redesign your part.
No, you're going to go to
over and
jail.
over.
You're going to go. No, it's
Shape jail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to guess.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
the trigger on my Nerf gun is the same one on my Han Solo blaster, the same one that I did for my garden hose.
Mhm.
So which trigger's the bad trigger?
And so
what's the bad triangle? Show me where the triangle touched you. Like, what's the bad triangle here?
Absolutely. And increasing this complexity, it just makes a higher barrier to entry for anyone that's getting into this, and it's just something we have to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah, pass on. This is fun. I like hearing from all of you. This is great.
Well,
and the
I
audience is loving it too.
Oh yeah, I took notes during the senator's speech.
Yeah, and
especially
call
the one on
and like
the far
and
right.
one thing really quick before we lose more people. Take the video that's today from Lewis's channel, grab a clip, credit him, make sure you credit him, or take it from the state, and plaster it everywhere in your towns, other things like that. Put it online. Show them saying these things.
You
Be
don't
like,
even-
look,
don't have to credit
why-
me. If you could show it to somebody who hates me, tell them that RBK came up with it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the senator made a point to always go back to guns, to make it us wanting to build guns. Yeah, most of us never talked about guns. We specifically pointed out that it was not about guns. It was about the software being unreliable, being charitable way to put it.
Yeah.
The fact that it would make a monopoly, it's dystopian in so many ways.
Sure.
And I mean, it was disingenuous, and it makes me want to campaign against the guy. Like, I didn't know his politics beforehand. I don't know them now, but I'm gonna sure as hell find out. And that guy is gonna have. I mean, he's got me as a political enemy now.
There you go. Well, I mean, that was
So-
something too that, like, Perez, when she was up there, she even made the comment, like, okay, well, I learned a lot today. Like, she even said, well, we have the experts here, and they chose not to. I mean, and I'm not saying I'm the expert. There's all experts out there. Like, we're all 3D printing nerds here. There's all experts here, but they've been getting the information constantly. People have been emailing. I had meetings with all of their advisors last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know, people have been doing this. They're choosing not to because of the optics of it. So once you take that away, once you take away this firearm BS, it changes everything because now it's straight tech, big business, pitted on FISNA. They're a $1 billion company trying to push this junk that doesn't work. They stand to make insane money if this goes through. Make that the story. Kill this bill with all the hype because they're not going to listen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be frank, I
Be frank.
actually
Hi, Frank.
kind of disagree with the whole firearms thing.
Sure.
We want bipartisan support. We don't want a single party. We don't want to exclude anybody on this.
No.
Okay. If you're 2A, if you're pro 2A, if you're red and you're against this, go for it. If you're blue, you're anti-gun, but you still want your privacy, go for it. What's scary to the politicians is not that it's a single partisan thing.
Oh, yeah.
When it's bipartisan, when both parties start saying, like when people supporting both parties start saying that we don't want this, we don't like this, and if you vote for it, we're not going to vote for you next time. This is how you get things done in the political world. Bipartisan is always the way to go. So don't exclude anybody.
Yeah.
Give them a reason to support our cause.
Absolutely.
If they're 2A, if they're pro 2A, do the pro 2A argument. If you're pro first and fourth, do the exact same thing. They divide us. They don't want us to see eye to eye.
Yeah.
But this is a rare chance that actually bipartisan support.
We have. So speaking of that, I've been working with the California Handgun Association and the ACLU and soon to be the NRA and other organizations and some very big universities across the country are going to start getting involved in the next couple of weeks. We can't say who yet, but we're starting to work with them because they're like, this is crazy. We're like, we know. And a lot of people we've heard, oh, we didn't think it would get this far. Like, how many times have you heard that? Like, oh, we didn't think it would eventually get that far, but here we are. Well, right, exactly. If you do nothing, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Like, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I'm gonna say something. Right.
Yes.
Not only your Senate, but also
Yes, I think
assembly
so.
member. Remember, two people represent you. You got your senator and your assembly. Write them both. When both assembly and Senate feels the same pressure from you, they get things done. They realize, oh, it's in the Senate right now.
I'd say go one beyond that. Contact your mayor.
Yeah, all of this. I mean, it should be contacting everyone, and it's not just this freak out like, oh, it's an alert. It should be a conversation. Think about reaching out to them as a conversation, right? Like you're talking to someone. Pretend if you were that politician and someone had to come talk to you. How would you want to be approached? You don't want to be sold something. You don't want to be yelled at. You want them to work with you. And take that with you, that this is 100% bipartisan. I mean, you heard, I was sitting next to the ACLU. We have other organizations out here that want to support getting rid of this because of how bad it is. And when you bring that up, it actually makes movement. And so coming up next is appropriations, and that's a focus on that for the consultants in that area. Then it will go to a floor vote before it goes to the governor. So keep up the pressure. Keep getting your friends going on this. But as something that the good doctor just mentioned, that you heard someone up there, you heard two people say, well, you know what? I'm going to vote for it now, but I might change my mind when it's on the floor. Like that, but that was someone who was going to vote for this originally. Yes. So, because they come into this with their minds made up. Their minds are changing. You're doing that. It is actually happening. But it takes work and time, and it'll evolve. Yeah, go for it.
I think a really important thing that we saw happen in real time today was that it went from a cut and dry, simple issue in their eyes to them realizing that there is so much more to this. Thank you. And when it comes to technical feasibility, there are significant doubts, and that it is not just an infringement upon your Second Amendment right, but so many others. And like mentioning, I think the most powerful example was when he lifted up an eye, a prosthetic eye, and said this got marked as a gun piece. And any reasonable human could tell that it is not. There is no way to tell just by the geometry if a bracket is made for a gun or for any benign reason. if you break anything down into its pieces, this is made up of hinges. There are tons of deadly things that can be done with hinges. Oh, sorry, you can't have a pulley. Guillotines have pulleys. And I think when you start infringing on people's rights to have interesting little folding cubes like this, because you're worried that someone might make a gun out of it, and you're basically putting a digital cop on people's computers, because 3D printers are computers that monitors everything going in and out of it, reports everything up to a server and up to Big Brother, just in case there might be a gun involved somewhere. I think they realize this isn't just about guns. This isn't just about the Second Amendment. This is about privacy, and that this has real implications down the road. And I think that the fact that they realize that, and this went from cut and dry to, oh, this is well-intentioned but has serious issues, 100%.
Absolutely.
Like, I think, raise your hand if you are opposed to just ghost guns in general.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. All of us are. Very few of us are debating that, but we are here saying the bill is well-intentioned but has serious issues when it comes to execution.
Yeah.
And I think we can find a happy middle ground, but this is not it. This is not the answer. And I know you have a lot you want to say.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear it. We want to hear from,
I mean,
because there's also thousands of people watching online too.
that's fun.
It is?
All right. No pressure. I
There's no
mean,
pressure.
I mean, I guess part of what I was thinking is that, like, everyone here has shared a lot of what's already been running through my mind. My husband is at work. He and I have been riffing back and forth, and he's mentioned a few things that, like, we've been chatting about a lot of this. I wish I could have had time to say some of these things too when we were in there. But it's like the fact that they're talking about sending all of our data off to some unknown center is like a privacy nightmare. And it's completely unreasonable. And like, it's a fantasy to think that they can actually make this work, not just because the technology doesn't even exist.
You can't.
But it's like, not only does it not exist now, but it's like, they're like, oh, maybe 4 years out. I'm sorry. No, it's not possible to make it work with what they're talking about.
Let me, so for the technology to work, they would have to be inside your brain, because they would have to know the intent of what you are going to do. It's like pre-crime.
Yep, it's like preemptive search. Search, which is actually, I think I mentioned something about that earlier, but it's like one of the things that my husband and I have been talking about, and I think this is really important. I wish I could have mentioned this, but it's like this has the potential of really putting a huge chilling effect on home repair and manufacture, all these things that we care about, all the things that like we talk about, things that Lewis puts a lot of videos about, things that you talk about. But it's like ultimately this is putting the weight on law-abiding citizens. And I know that like some of them mentioned that.
Yeah.
And the fact that one of them actually did talk about that was heartening. And the fact that we're like, okay, at least one of them gets it. And I guess there's also the fact that it is kind of difficult to see this as anything other than a money and data grabbing.
Very much
Which is why I'm so deeply disappointed in Everytown and in Moms Demand Action, because it's like once upon a time I followed them when they formed, and I wish that I could continue to support them, but sorry, I know who's paying the bills now, and this is awful and it's deeply disappointing. So.
Yeah, they're taking advantage. I mean, I don't know if you had conversations with the women that were here from Moms Demand Action, but like even say they're having a chat with them. Like some of them didn't even really, like as Lewis saw earlier, like one of them didn't even know if she was for or against.
Yeah.
But I was having a conversation with them and they're like, wait, what? And I show them the eyeball and they're like, what? I didn't know that. They just told me that it just makes guns.
They're just
And I'm like, it's a gun making machine? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, they're gaslighting their own people.
They are gaslighting their own people. They are preying on people's fear. They are using the like, it's for the children. Excuse me. I have school-age kids. I have one who's about to be a senior in high school in a public high school in Berkeley, and one who is also in a public school, but he's in a charter school. And this is my son who came with me today. And the reason that we are here is because, frankly, I am not okay with organizations like that pretending to speak for me when I know that there are a lot of other parents out there like me and my husband who recognize that this is not actually about gun safety. No, I'm not okay with it.
No, and it's just flippant politicianism, because, you know, she was up there saying she's the chair of the safety for the state of California, is RBK, the woman on this bill. So, like, if you're the chair of, like, public safety and all that, like, wait a minute, what's, not public safety, I apologize. What was it? It was for privacy. Thank you, I apologize. Privacy. It's been a long day. For privacy, and all that. It's like, okay, if you are, then what about this? It just goes to show you the disconnect. That they're just trying to pass a bill to say to everyone else out there that's not here, I made you safer by passing this gun bill. Everyone vote for me again.
That's
but like,
performative nonsense.
that ain't gonna. That's not flying anymore. No. Like no more. None more of that.
Yeah,
Hi,
not
Aubrey.
interested. Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
It's a resume line, exactly. Yeah,
That is.
and it's great that you all see it. But I really do hope that you continue this. Keep doing it in your own way, your own fights, reaching out to people. If you notice, someone who was not present, and I really want to hammer this home, that is not present on the support of this bill, is the Teachers Association. You do not see the Teachers Association supporting this. You do not see any. You don't see Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCAs. You don't see anyone in that respect supporting this bill.
Nobody from
None
any
of
of the
them.
student
So
associations
reach out
from
to
any
your
universities
teachers. Right.
either.
Huh?
Nobody from student associations from any of the universities
No,
either.
no way. That when you see stuff on there that says Moms in Action, and it's a chapter on a campus.
Yeah.
It's not the school.
Yeah, do
That's what
not
they try.
speak for all
Get you
of
a
us.
sec. Yeah, and all that stuff. But that's part of it too. Is so reach out to the teachers, reach out to the superintendents, work that angle too. Start building up a base because every town's goal is to make this federal. That is the goal, to make this federal, because that makes them, win, and that's it. So we have to keep this momentum up. Like this is the beginning, I think, and it's awesome to see everyone here because of that. I mean, this is crazy. Like we're doing it. We're actually changing minds, and then everything that you see here today gets to be used in other court cases. Oh, California did this. California is doing this. Did you hear about this hearing? We get to build up momentum. We are telling a story. Think about it like that. Is not just an action item like we're clicking something on our computer and it's done and we move on. This is a long story we are telling. This is something you're going to tell your grandkids and say, back in the day, they were going to make this happen on your printer, but I saved you, and you could tell that story to them because you were here. But it's that aspect of it. I mean, that's what's happening. And I think it's really interesting to see.
We all have to show up.
Yeah, exactly. You got to show up. You want to make with this gentleman? Oh, him and then you and whatever. Here, there's a gentleman behind you as well.
Very quick. Everyone should be reaching out to their local news and traditional media sources to tell them about this. Tell them that you care, that you live in their neighborhood.
Yeah, just don't post on your Instagram and stuff, but like hit local news. I've been hitting up local news. I've been talking to NPR and Marketplace. I reached out to Politico. I don't know if they showed up. I didn't see Lindsay. But other people like that, reach out to all of them because guess what? If your local news station gets one call, okay. If they get 50 calls, they're like, okay, shit's going down. We got to find out what's going on here. And lean into this. Hit up Fox News, man. They're desperate for stuff like this. Take advantage of that. But keep the news going. Keep those news cycles going because that's one thing that will destroy this whole thing.
Yeah, I'll keep this quick. I just wanted to say I come from Washington State. I saw Lewis's video yesterday morning, and I'm very fortunate in that, I'm very fortunate in that I'm in the position to where I could get myself a plane ticket and, a motel reservation and just come down here on a day's notice and be present here. And to anybody watching at home, I would implore you, if you are in a similar position, please do so in the future because it feels good to participate in these processes, and regardless of what the results of from today, I know I won't regret having come here.
Well, that's awesome, man. Bravo.
I like
Thank you.
it. When you have the
Yeah,
means,
thank
you
you
have the
everyone for coming out
responsibility.
who drove and flew. Like, this is amazing. Like, to see all of you out here. People came from all over, and I think that's awesome. I mean, and I would like to give some love to Lewis for coming out all the way from Texas. Thank you. I know he hates it.
I deserve nothing.
Right? Bringing us all together like this, amplifying it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. But that's part of it too, is finding those other people that can be your megaphones to amplify your voices. Like when this went down, the guy who runs the OC Maker Fair hit me up and gave me the email address. I reached out to Lewis. An hour later, he called me. He's like, how can I help? I bet there's other people that would be doing the same too. You have Mike.
So I've got a constructive note about how we can get our message out. So as experts and enthusiasts, we can be better at starting conversations by meeting people at their level of knowledge, which, as we've seen, is at the starting points. And so we can make this really simple. A 3D printer is a constructive device. A gun is a destructive device. They could not be any more different in terms of intent. This bill makes no sense. And so it's important to start simple like this because these opponents, they have no reservations about oversimplifying and distorting the truth with inaccurate imagery.
Yeah.
Like that imagery that you described of a whole gun coming off of a 3D printer. So, but on the other hand, we have the truth on our side, and we can be better about how to help people see it. Thank you.
Very nice. I agree. Yeah. Wait, who got ejected, by the way, from the hearing? Someone yelled in the back? Almost. Oh, okay. I mean, besides me. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Hello, me again. I just wanted to say we're all forgetting a very important part of what makes these legislators tick. The one thing that they need more than anything else is a good economy. They
good
don't
economy.
get a job.
Yeah.
They don't get support if the economy doesn't get better. If it goes through some ups and downs, people remember the downs. And the one thing that every legislator like this wants in the US is the economic miracle of a manufacturing boom in their city.
Oh, absolutely.
We can't just be campaigning on this is going to ruin our lives. This is going to make things worse, because that's what people campaign opposition on.
Oh.
How dare you?
Just 3D print it.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have to be yes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We have to be campaigning on, if you oppose this bill, you can add to it ways to improve our economy, ways to make small businesses more affordable, ways to oppose foreign interests and keep manufacturing at home.
So make it an incentive.
Yes, make it an incentive to oppose more legislation. Not only is it easier to not do anything, seriously, by not doing anything, by simply just sitting there and twiddling their thumbs and maybe passing a law here or there to make manufacturing easier, to make starting a business easier, they can do less work and maybe bring about that holy grail of American manufacturing reconstruction.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think that's a great point. And I think that's too, it's like find these incentives, and think about it. Like think about it strategically. Like how can you do this? Hey, by the way, if you get rid of this bill, we can do this, we can do that. Oh yeah, this is standing in our way. This is an obstacle to making our city better, making things better. This is going to prevent us from innovating. This is going to stop us from doing different things. Find the story that resonates with you and the people that'll resonate with you beyond that. Something I like to tell people a lot on social media is, I really appreciate, I love it when you guys share our stuff, whether it's our videos, my posts and things like that. And I think it's great. But the people that follow you do not follow you because you're a wonderful curator of the interwebs. They follow you because of you, because of who you are. Because, even if you have 5 followers or 5 million or whatever, they follow you because of you. Social media is a very intimate experience. You're holding the phone close to your face. You have earbuds in, they're talking to you. And if you put up a video about some, person, even if it's me, saying, hey, stop this thing, they're going to go past it. Maybe they'll be like, oh, that person has a weird face. I'll watch it, whatever. But if it's you saying the exact same things, it's a whole new ball game. Then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, okay, now it resonates. And they're like, oh, why'd you say it? That's cool. And then now you're using your social media as a real tool. I keep sharing, keep engaging, but don't be afraid to put something out there. Like I was telling Lewis was like, you got to get your own YouTube channel. I'm like, I have one. I don't do anything with it. He's like, just start recording. And I'm starting to do that. I'm just putting it out there. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But like, if you start doing it, people will gravitate toward you. At one point, Lewis had 0 followers. It was at one point. And then at one point, it grew. And it grew because they were connecting with him. Just while you watch him, while you watch Joel on 3D Printer, you're watching that person. Don't think you can't offer that same advice to people that follow you. It'll help build this and also give other people confidence too, to grow and share the message, because that's how we put a face on all this. It shouldn't just be my face. It shouldn't just be Lewis or some other people. I mean, we are going to keep leading this and moving it forward, but we need everyone to be a part of the conversation. And you don't have to just share and stuff like that.
Hello. Yeah, speaking of moving forward, actually,
Hold the microphone closer.
Oh, there we go. I think all of us are here not because we expected to win today. We were going to kill this bill right here, right now, but because we were not willing, we don't want to lose, right? And we want to tell everyone that we are not willing to lose on this. And something big that I would like to ask is, so what next now, right?
Yeah. So what is next? Yeah, we're just going to, lay down, they won, that's it, right? We're done? No. Next is working with, this is going to appropriations, so there's the appropriation consultants. They're going to evaluate what's going on and move on from there. And then that's a potential place for the bill to get killed. Surveillance is a huge issue. I mean, any way you look at it, to make this bill work on any fundamental level, even if the magic software was magic software and worked, you have to violate the Constitution 6 ways to Sunday to make this work. You have to violate it multiple times. You have to destroy it in order for this to work. So that's other things. And it's going to go through appropriations. If it goes on from there, it'll go back to Assembly because it's been amended. And then from there, it will go to a floor vote. And then from a floor vote, it would go to the governor. And those are the next steps on it.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah.
I would also like to say I was here last Tuesday in that room where we did a lot of the same thing, a lot of coming in saying, I don't support this bill, and then the politicians don't really listen. I think I remember they voted exactly inside of party lines as if it were a firearms issue. The Republican voted against it, the Democrats voted for it, it passed 3-1, so now we're here today. But I want to say that what is different is that I think there was 4 times as many people here today.
There were 50 this time, 200 this time. 50 last time, 200 now.
Yeah, so...
54? 254.
Wow.
Wow. That is
Okay, well,
amazing.
thank you to that person.
254.
254 people were here today?
Yeah, 254 individual people.
254 people. Holy
Not
crap.
254 wearing the same T-shirt.
254 people, not 254 bots.
Yeah, 254 individual humans with different stories that use this in a different way with different backgrounds. Not the same person going up there with a shirt that they just got folded out of a box and put on and said, go talk. Yeah, and that's it. And that's part of it. We're on the side of right. There's nothing, you're not doing anything wrong fighting for this bill. No matter what this is bad. And we have that on our side. And we get to go forward with that. And we get to educate people. And I think that's really wonderful and really special for what's going on. I don't really have much more to say. I mean, I could talk about this all day long. But if there's anyone who wants to say something, please come up here. But if not, I'll leave it with some final words. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll wrap it up. All right, Lewis, I'll wrap it up. But someone wants to say something to Lewis's audience. Yeah, get in here real quick, and we'll wrap this up here. You go over here. I'm gonna stand over here.
So something I just wanted to bring up is I'm increasingly noticing a lot of our politicians are kind of aging out. We effectively have people with the technical savvy of my mom making legislation like we saw here today. So I really think it's high time for those of us that are technical, maybe think about a foray into politics, especially maybe some of the younger ones. I saw some young ones up there even talk on the mic, which was pretty inspiring, right? But just something to think about. I know maybe that's not what many of us think about or are too interested in, and politics is a huge drag, but just something, maybe to consider. Maybe this lights up a passion inside of you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. It's great. Let's get you guys out here. You want to say something really quick to the audience before we wrap up? Yeah, come here real quick. Just do it real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Right, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then lunch and...
Yeah. I'm going to eat finally.
Real quick. Hey, Marlin, Clipper, Reprap, and whatever open source printer firmware. Remember 2012 SOPA. The nuclear option is still there. You can still go nuclear. And we'll see what happens when you all disappear off of GitHub.
I'll make this brief. I think we're all here because we recognize that bad actors succeed if good actors do nothing. And we are all here because we cannot sit by and do nothing. We are here to make sure our voices are heard. Creators, especially content creators as well, posting on social media, are really important to get the word out. I know I'm going to go to Open Sauce. It's an event where a bunch of YouTubers
We'll be at
and
Open Sauce,
creators
yes. A lot of us will be there.
will be, and I'm hoping that we can at least recruit a few of them to help spread the message about this, because they are coming after our creativity, and we cannot let that happen. Thank you. Who else wants the mic?
Heck yeah, let's get it over here. Yeah, we'll be at Open Sauce. I'll be at Open Sauce running around, causing trouble. I'm trying to put together an activation for Open Sauce for this now. We'll see if we can get it to happen.
I just wanted to make a point. I'm the arcade game repair technician.
Yeah.
How many people have played a game like Time Crisis in an arcade or any other light game shooter?
Yeah.
How about repairing that part if I can't print out
Don't
the
you dare
shell?
make that trigger.
Yeah, I can't make the trigger to repair it.
Start killing games. That bill was yesterday.
Yeah, stop killing. A shape cannot have intent. How am I supposed to print the shell if it looks like a gun, acts like a gun, but it's not actually a gun?
Sure.
And that also goes with cosplay too.
Oh yeah, we're starting to recruit a lot of cosplayers are getting in this. I mean, I was actually going to try to get the 501st to come out, but they're like, we're not sure yet. Which would be amazing to see, like a bunch of stormtroopers go up there, right?
I almost came in cosplay.
You did?
I almost did, but
I cosplayed as a lawyer.
yeah, unfortunately, most of my cosplay is in storage right now because I just recently moved.
Okay, all right, for the next one.
Yes.
For the next big.
You came as Phoenix, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I can't.
Okay. I am personally someone who believes that gun control has its uses, but in California we have some of the most restrictive gun laws. Bullets, you cannot buy one if you have a criminal record here in California.
You also need 2 forms of ID.
Yeah, 2 forms of ID or a real ID, I think. Would,
real ID now. Yeah.
Would cover it. So bullets are already a tough thing to come by unless you want to go out of state for them. Then you have the fact that it's a lot harder to buy a gun, but any criminal who wants to get a gun can easily do it, even legally, by going across state lines to Arizona or Nevada and buying the ammo, the guns there, or they can go to Home Depot and buy some hardwood and whatnot, build a gun. And they're not stopping us from having Home Depot.
I live in the hood. I could literally just walk across the street as the tall guy in the corner, get a 38 for a couple $100.
Yeah, so
all a Polymaker was watching for you 3D printing people. Everyone at Polymaker was watching you guys too. So I'm getting texts from people all around the world at these companies too. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. The fact that guns are so easy to get, and yet one of the more difficult and tech-savvy ways of potentially making your own is the one they're going after, lets you know that this is security theater and no better than the Patriot Act.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take 2 more, and then we're going to wrap it up. You, and then we'll call it a day.
I'm not entirely sure what will motivate legislators. But we did have the comment about the person's friend, but it seemed a little bit like they almost didn't really think about the objects as made out of parts. But I also have to wonder a little bit about maybe some bad faith. Say the maybe I'll think about this and vote differently later seems a little bit like a way to get us out of the room. And the comment about having a friend's husband who was into 3D printing,
He's the expert.
It was commented that does mean that individuals can make a difference, but also it means potentially that some individuals' voices matter more than others. So I guess find out if that's you. There was one very obvious effect here that I thought was a little bit funny. They had the people in support of the bill were saying, yeah, we've talked to the 3D printing people, we've talked to the manufacturers. Manufacturers might want to make it more difficult for you to make your own or something, I don't know. They were like, we talked to the 3D printing people, we talked to the tech people, they support this. And they have the moms saying, oh, I run a makerspace. These are the people around us that actually use the 3D printers. It's very obvious, it should be very obvious to them, that the 3D printing community is against these restrictions, is against these kind of arbitrary, broad monitoring of what you print. And I think that having more people out here, having a large group is part of what does that.
Absolutely. I completely agree. It's great. Yes, gentlemen. Yeah, come on. And then we'll wrap it up. I like your tie.
I know that y'all were talking about what 3D printing can't really differentiate from a firearm part or anything like that because it could look at something else. But I'm starting to feel kind of vintage, and so are used firearms on the market. So when it comes to firearms that are decades old, there's going to be parts that are going to need to be replaced. So nobody wants to be banned from hey, I have this firearm, I need some plastic parts on it, like grips and stocks and stuff like that. Or what if somebody runs it over kind of thing and I need to fix it? Well, the firearm manufacturer's discontinued. Well, I want to repair my firearms. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this down when he comes back. When Lewis, well, it's a hot mic, just so you know. It's okay. Yeah, so Lewis is done. So something that's been really fun, I haven't checked my phone the whole time, but the whole time I was up there, it was like I was getting a massage on my leg. It was just bzzz, literally the whole time. You have inspired the world. I'm not being facetious. I'm getting texts from massive companies from all over the planet that saw this. Literally multiple texts just like, holy shit, this fucking line. Like, it's all swear words. It's all like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I wish I was there. That's amazing. Like, we're going to be here. Someone just texted, we're going to bring our company to open source. They just heard it on there. They're like, we'll go to open source. Sure, let's start this. Let's go here. Like, it's about giving people options because this is all new. Like, this is new for me. Literally building the plane as I'm flying it here with all of you on board. So thank you for trusting me and my skills. But now we're getting a lot of support from a lot of other people. And hopefully that empowers you to do more and realize that you're not alone. But those individual things, exactly what Anne was talking about, having those conversations locally matters because that woman remembered her one constituent. A ton of people hit her up, I know. But she's talking about that one person, and they talked to her both sides of it, and it resonated. And they weren't yelling at her. They weren't coming in with all this stuff. They were just like, hey, I'm concerned. And they had a conversation. And I know it's slow, but that's part of it. And it's also giving a face to this. And then getting the news. Like Ann said, hit your local news, your college newspapers too. Like this is a hot story. This should be the thing every nerd is talking about on the planet right now. Like we should all be nerding out about this. Because this is something that like we get to beat up on finally and then beat down and destroy and like we can kill this bill. Like it's okay to say you want to kill the bill. I want to mess it up. I want to drive it into the ground because there's going to be more. This technology, as we all know, 3D printing is very new in the scope of technology, we'll say. It's the next industrial revolution. But what's coming next, the things that we don't know, the things that we can't imagine yet, all of that technology hinges on laws and bills like this. It's about understanding that we need to have people in office, have people accountable, and use mechanisms like this to make sure that we can future-proof legislation. Because if they made a bill like this pass, like 1, 2, 3, and none of us did anything about it, how could it affect other technologies, all these other things, all your other rights, all this other stuff? Because this would be on the books. And then the next politician that comes through, they see this, like, wait, this is a law? This is a law? Oh, hell yeah. Dude, we're going to do all sorts of stuff with this law. Like, that's a thing. I mean, you see it happening in the White House right now. Just imagine that with this. It's a little scary, a little crazy. So that's kind of my shtick. Do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Nothing other than getting lunch and then 10 hours of editing.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Thank you all. You're amazing.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We have a chat server for anybody who wants to stay involved with this. Like, we go over anti-ownership laws in every state. We have a Zulip, it's like Discord or Slack, but open source, where we have segments for every single state. So when anti-ownership laws come up in any individual state, we could just ping all the people that were interested in showing up. If anybody's interested in that, it's advocates.fulu.org. So advocates.fulu.org. Don't ask what the FU stands for. It's classified information. But, yeah.